This is crazy.
You know what, Pickle?
Oh,
Just
what
the
a
fact
real
when
man
you
does.
talked about that, just lets everybody know that you get scammed by scammers.
No, that's never happened. So I just remembered I have some Shin Black like fucking ramen, and I have some kimchi gyoza, dude. I'm gonna fucking hit up.
Did you send money to the Nigerian prince? Is that what you did?
The fuck is this
I
guy
did
talking
send money
about?
to your mom, but she
Yeah, actually,
provided
somebody to the
delivery
Nigerian
services.
Damn, that was a scam. Because I got 2 dads, Pickle.
Good for you, dude.
Damn,
I'm
he's talking about moms when he
make
doesn't
sure
have
to
a
clean up your room, because when I get home, if it's
black,
dirty,
nigga.
there's gonna be consequences. Right?
Pickle, I got 2 dads. So,
Mom,
I don't know what's going
Yo,
on.
that's 2 more than
Pickle
Pickle.
has no product, didn't I?
That's 2 more than me, bro.
I mean,
I
if you
fucking
did,
love Wizards of the Coast. Everything they fucking release is broken, I swear. I
Pickle,
like the Bethesda of trading card games. Holy
Pickle,
shit.
did you have sex with my dad?
Bro, what is this convo? Can a mod please?
Yeah.
I don't know, I'd rather talk about
in
Matt.
order to give birth,
Alright, can we? I just had a base conversation.
These are the people complaining about me.
Yes.
No.
Can we have a base?
With my dad, Pickle.
That sounds about right.
Excuse me. Can we have a base conversation about how
No, you sound
China has
gay.
more
Shut
freedom
up.
of speech
I
than
want
the
to listen
US?
to Pickle because Pickle sounds like a
That
man.
was such a boring ass right there.
You just say I was.
Can we just listen to Pickle? Pickle sounds like a very man. Please talk, Pickle.
No, I'm browsing fucking build a PC sales, dude. Looking for some cheap computer parts.
Yikes.
Alright, let's talk about the movies and how nobody cares about them. Let's talk about
Shit,
that.
let me make sure my Dota downloaded.
Can I talk about Pickle and how gay he is?
No, we already did that.
Yo, I got
Yeah, he admittedly said that he had sex with my dad. I mean, I don't.
CGI has a topic.
Kind of weird.
You guys are horrible.
Nothing against gay people, but
Let's hear the topic.
Wait, what's wrong with having sex with your dad?
I mean, it's my dad, so I don't want to have sex with him.
Nobody cares.
What's wrong with that?
Your 2 dads have sex with each other.
What's going on, bro? So,
Yeah, they do.
My 2 dads would not accept
bro,
it.
I gotta talk to y'all.
I thought you were a traditionalist. Don't you
Bro,
like people only having sex with
Shut your
their
fucking
husband?
mouth.
You need a dick in your fucking mouth, dude.
Let me turn you
Shut the
down 10%. So,
Yo, mom.
Dude, I could do with a dick in my mouth.
Did you guys have to be like this? Is this necessary?
Yes.
Yeah, this is
Please
actually
What
silence.
happens if you don't give us a
It
topic?
is necessary. in their
This is how we
performance in
felt
life.
whenever you were talking to Patty.
Niggas keep talking.
Speaks about me.
Bro, so look, the topic I was gonna bring up is about Virginia is the 23rd state. to
Alright, that sounds
actually
very boring.
Take away the
Yeah,
death,
it's boring,
take away
dude.
the death penalty. How do you guys feel about this?
Can we just talk about Pickle
Yeah, the death penalty should remain because most of these
Nobody
scumbags
cared
end
about
up on-
Virginia
I think
before
they
you
should
asked this
just
question,
decrease
and nobody's
the,
going to care about
process
Virginia after you
be
asked the
put
question.
under-
So,
Like the actual death penalty.
So, like, do you guys think that this shit, like, the death penalty should stay enacted federally for all states, or you like it's fine, like, to get a takeaway, like in general?
For all
Nah,
states.
just take it away.
Talk about Pickle's nasally ass voice.
I mean, people die already.
every 50, dude, all 50 states should be required to have like the death penalty, dude. Like some people aren't worth the state's resources.
Yeah, we should have death penalty for
Yeah, which
yeah,
is
if
why
your
we
name's
should.
Pickle, if you name yourself Pickle on Discord,
actually agree, which is why we
you
should.
put to
You know
death.
how long it costs?
No, we
You know how
should.
much it costs per year
Can we have
for
a
these
mute on that?
fuckheads?
I think
No,
most people are pro justice, but the problem with the death penalty is the innocent people.
Ah,
I
bro,
mean, it's
innocent,
even
they
if
find
you
2 or
take
3%,
hold on,
dude.
even if you take Pickle's concern about not wasting resources on them, hasn't it been shown time and time again that it literally wastes
Don't
more
try this shit.
resources on them?
Okay, so here's how this works. Pickle's gonna create a company to basically excise the death penalty, right? The
then you
current
kill
cost is
everyone
like
named Pickle
180
on
grand,
Discord.
right? I'm gonna get a robotic arm, right? Codified in some software at a certain time of day. It just does the execution, right? No human being has to feel guilty. Bullets cost like
That's
$2.
not
I'll
the
put about,
concern, dude.
like,
It's not
5
like
of
the
them.
lethal injection costs $1 million.
Okay,
which
wait.
makes
I
financial
get
That was a Jordan
I'm not gonna
Peterson
get
right
interrupted, dude.
there.
Like I'm actually gonna like make my commentary, right? Because this is important. So the issue is like it's gonna be very cost effective. It'll probably cost me like $5,000 per person. So whatever is the difference, I'll cut your cost by 50%, and we can.
No,
get the
you
ball
won't,
rolling.
because most of them are legal costs.
So
Unless you want to get rid of the justice system, which already you know is criticized.
What you want to do is you want to get rid of the justice
Oh,
system.
yeah, we're gonna do
Just put the people to the wall, and then you just.
Yes, I mean, what do you think most of the expenses come in when you try to
Oh
execute? a
yeah,
person
I
legally?
know the industry called like law and this kind of thing like purposely makes it as inefficient as possible, but you know we're gonna clean that shit up too, right? So
Pickle's like, let's talk about politics. Let's get rid of the government and then kill everyone without the government.
Okay, that's advocating.
Let's do that.
This guy. Who brought this guy?
Can we
Glad he's
please
here.
get rid of the noise trolls?
Anyway, I'm gonna go get some gin and tonic.
All right,
And what else
that's a
was I
base
supposed to-
choice.
Why is he always on the
I'm gonna go
ground?
get some dick. I mean,
Well, here's the
Right,
thing.
well,
I remember I hadn't had
got-
gin by itself in a while, and then I saw all of the like things it's infused with, like all these.
Make sure you don't pay with a $20 counterfeit bill.
So
Oh my
I'm gonna
God,
I'm gonna try to tap into that taste. You know,
It
I
is
get
the
under the
legal
influence.
system.
I'm gonna see if I can taste it, dude. Right, that's what I'm gonna do.
Yikes.
Yo, that dude, not only is he right, it's insane how correct he is. The majority of the cost comes from the trial process.
Yeah, no,
It
that's-
costs-
So you just get rid of that. You just put the people to the wall instantly. You just get rid of that
Yeah,
whole legal
you guys
system.
are
I
all
love- I
using
love how
Jordan
Pickle
Peterson's
said
what you
argument,
do
and
is
it's very boring.
Whenever I feel like those people are, guilty, they will get executed.
Yeah, just so you understand, in the U.S., the legal system is crafted to basically like preserve the legal system, which is a bunch of like feckless assholes trying to find the most convoluted way to interpret law for the most amount of money. So,
Oh, so you
anytime
don't like
get libel-
capitalism?
To be fair,
That's
in
pretty
good
basic.
faith, what
That's not capitalism. That's crony capitalism, dude.
Oh, so you don't like phony capitalism or capitalism? That's
Crony.
pretty
To
basic.
be fair, in this instance, it looks like it's just an
Oh,
attempt to
sorry,
give
sorry.
a person
Phony, and
as possible
capitalism.
to prove
No,
that they
no.
don't deserve to be killed.
I'm gonna
Wait,
guess.
um,
I'm gonna guess that the American legal system is similar to the Canadian system, and that most of the inefficiencies stem from the fact of due process. So making
Oh,
things
due
that-
process.
and to an underfunded public court system that just doesn't have the resources to process
Oh, no,
cases
it's
as
funded.
fast as they
I love
otherwise
fighting
would.
invisible enemies.
Well,
It's funded.
It's actually a little bit. It's well on top of it when you get a death penalty, like they'll do every type of what do you call it?
This is just
Due
what
process.
we need. Two people with
No,
annoying
no.
voices.
They'll do every sort of appeal they
Oh,
can.
are you
because,
talking about Patty?
when they do when they do an appeal, they or because they're gonna die, so they're just trying to like
Right, I'm
create as
almost
much
under the
lifespan as
influence.
they can. You know, it's not about
Makes
winning.
sense.
But,
I
one thing I would say on on this is like I think that we should implement a case where people can choose the death penalty if they get a life sentence, and then
I wouldn't
you won't
actually
go
disagree
through
with
all
that.
of that.
Only if they get a life sentence. Okay.
I mean,
yeah,
technically,
I don't
they're
know.
both life
Dude,
sentences.
Yeah, people can get
yeah,
multiple life sentences.
Okay. So yeah, the thing is like for instance, like Pickle gets into some legal thing when I'm suing somebody, right? Taking them to court, that's 5 years, right? Not taking them to court, selling outside of court. Here's how much time it's gonna take. Oh, by the way, I need 30%. Blah 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 blah. It's a grift, dude. It's literally like just a bunch of fucking asshole middlemen sitting in
Dude,
between,
the only
Yes,
reason
it's
the
that's
pe-
that's
the
what you call
people-
the legal system.
The people that
Yeah,
take
that's what I call it.
30%, the people that take 30%, the person getting the legal services doesn't have to pay. If you want to go hire a lawyer and pay by the
Yeah,
hour,
but it's all
that is your
paperwork.
right.
It's all like a bunch of monkeys sitting in a bullpen.
Nah,
doing
you're-
paperwork. You don't even
That's
have the
like-
top
that's
lawyers.
like-
in
Dude,
the
if we could
country.
just
I
let
find-
Pickle in
that's
charge
like
of the
saying-
courts,
Oh,
everything
don't-
would
oh,
be
wait,
fine.
is this-
Is this where Pickle tells us that all lawyers don't
Oh,
know
you
what
got
they're
kids?
doing and they they're
Yeah,
pieces
Have a
of
bunch
shit?
of
Yeah.
fucking like interns
they should
doing
be
all
a
the
project
paperwork while
manager
you
like
sit there and
Pickle.
collect all the fucking.
That's not
fees,
true.
right?
That's not
Yeah, dude.
That's
Don't do
lawyers
any
say.
work, bro. It's just some
lawyers are
intern
on
doing
it.
all the
Literally
paper
just all the
pushing.
Yo, real quick.
Pickle, I
Let me
want to ask you a quick
correct
question.
something.
Just a quick
Lawyers
question.
are also not jacked.
Hold on,
so-
CJ. Real quick, I promise. Pickle, can you tell me any time at all in which you've actually done studying to be a lawyer?
None. I had a bunch of
Okay,
friends who were
Wait,
lawyers.
what?
dude. They were
You
all
don't have a lawyer's
alcoholics
degree
and
as
other
well?
things.
He's about to tell
I'm
us some
actually
hearsay
surprised.
personal anecdote from someone that we'll never be able to
I've
follow up with.
participated
Alright,
in the
can I-
raging
can I-
lawsuits, so
can
I'm
I say
familiar
something?
with
I was
the
cut
legal
off real
system.
quick.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I got you.
How can you say you're cut off like 10 minutes later?
Okay, listen, so
He doesn't know what irony means.
Relax, I'm at someone's crib. So
Relax, guys.
yo, you're saying that you're simplifying it to this point where you're trying to say that lawyers do this and that, they don't do anything. They have paperwork. Well, to just correct you.
Yeah.
It's called interns are not
Charge me the
interns.
hours you're paying your fucking intern.
Those are probably paralegals that have to be
Yes,
certified
yes.
in most cases to do some type of work, and they're not doing all the work necessarily, right? So the say that lawyers don't go home, they look over their case on the weekend, they take their work, their case home with them. Almost 80% of lawyers, at least if they're in certain criminal defense, even financial, they still in most cases, a lot of them take work home constantly on cases, right?
Okay. Yeah.
So like I don't see why you're acting like you don't do anything.
You know, I'm kind of being fresh with the language, right? But the idea is there's a lot of grifting, dude. There's a lot of inefficiencies, grifting, just charging people because you know there's walls of obscurity between the law and their case. And all sorts of other bullshit. I know, like, a lot of the paperwork is literally automated. Anybody that has any balls is like using.
It's not. That's not true. That's not true.
Can you cut it out? Yes, it is.
No, it's not. Because there's a large market for paralegals specifically.
Yo, little Bo Peep, you want to back me up on this, dude? Don't you use the wealth of
paralegals are there for. Hold on, paralegals are for like finding papers that are like stored and to store them. They're not like to fill out paperwork.
What? There's people who don't have to be paralegals to handle paperwork. I'm gonna find the law firm that handle one of my cases. I'm gonna show you. Give me a second,
what do you mean? Are you trying to tell me that paralegals
They took me on a tour of the office and they showed me who was who and how all of the flows work. So yeah, I'm quite familiar.
Catch you later.
Of course, he's quite familiar.
What do you know?
So CGI, when you actually do like stuff with like big time groups, not
yes, of course he's got
you know, the office is pretty efficient and automated and whatnot. You know?
Because they haven't been married for 40 years.
Look, man. I also had a lawsuit once where the dude that I sued appealed. This is an inefficiency in the court. I know this because I work for a big company.
No, that's not.
It's just funny hearing some type of dumbass argument like that. Like, that's.
Do you think I'm making an argument?
Actually, I work with dumbasses, so I would know how to determine a dumbass.
Law.
Pickle took one shot. Okay.
Honestly, you must be an expert in like every field on this server. Like,
Actually, I am. I work with Romania's biggest clown.
5'2" woman. He took one shot, and he's out. I mean, he's almost out right now.
You have no clue what I'm on right now, so shut your mouth, right? Anyway,
damn, what did you smoke, buddy?
What you on right now?
Oh, dude, I'm drinking, dude.
Dude, should I pull out my bong, dude? Is that
you're 120 pounds.
Dude, I
you
didn't
have
know
the
that
stature of Ben Shapiro. You took one shot,
Why
and
you
you're
guys
almost out.
so hard, dude? Let me breathe, dude. Let me live.
You can't breathe right now.
CGI, like stop, please. You're gonna ruin this for all of us. He will literally flip the legal system upside down if you
said
annoy
that
him.
shit to me like we're next to each other drinking with each other. Like you're sauced. Is something gonna happen? Like what the fuck?
Yeah, guys, this is only my 15th gin and tonic in the last 2 hours. I don't have any problems.
It's fine though. It has cucumbers in it.
Pickle's upset that all lawyers haven't been married for 40 years, even though they're 26. They can't bench 8.
Yeah, dude, pickle. Bro, do I tell you how to write lines of code?
Yeah.
Have I ever told you how to write lines of code?
Silent, you're not a lawyer, so stop pretending.
Atheist.
Dude, atheist, you're hardly a citizen.
Dude, you hardly walk, buddy. So I don't know, like you hardly think, to be honest, dude. So like let's just keep that up. Pickle, do I tell you how to write lines of code?
It's okay, you can take it.
Yo, does the silence say I know Python better than
Pickle's not a... You can take it.
Silent Pickle's not a student.
See, the thing is, Silent actually worked with some big-time Python companies.
Dude, I don't tell you how to code. Can you not say dumb shit about the law that you have no idea about?
You're just a student that he's actually got a career.
You're just a student. Oh, by the way, atheist. I actually went back, dude. Atheist had a source. Hold on, let me go back and pull it up.
A fair comparison, but until you get a career, then it's apples and oranges.
So I wanted to placate. I wanted to placate him because I didn't give a shit, right? But like, atheist sent me this source to say that, like, oh, bro, like if you, like if it's a hate crime, you don't have to be a member of that, like, of that particular protected class in order to be, yeah, and like let's look at what he sourced. Hold on, let me pull it up. I have to scroll through so much shit.
Silent, thank you. That really solidified your point, dude. Holy crap.
For the orange
name. This is what Silent does. He's gonna try to bring up another point he was wrong about that I was right about to try to make me look bad. And then he's wrong anyway.
Here comes Pickle again. He's gonna try to get to the center of attention. He's the main character.
I'm gonna get BTFO'd and I'm calling it right now.
Excuse me.
I already see it. Like, let's.
Okay, so let's read the actual paragraph. Under the defendant's group membership does not matter. The fact that the defendant belongs to the same race, religion, or ethnicity as the victim is irrelevant, so long as the victim was attacked because of some prohibited reason. Giving an example from the Illinois Appellate Court, 3 teens attacked a 13-year-old Orthodox Jewish boy, threatening him, calling him a Jew, and throwing a knife at him. The court rejected one of the defendant's arguments that because he was too Jewish, TOO, he could not have committed a hate crime. Members of protected groups can also harbor animus. So this example doesn't say, and your source doesn't say, that you can be a Jewish person attacked for being Asian and show like no signs of being Asian, and yet that still be a hate crime. What your citation shows is that you can be a white person, commit a hate crime against a white person because they're white. That's not the same thing, buddy. So explain to me again how I'm the one that's in school while you fucking fight criminal defense lawyer.
I was a part of the group because I was attacked for being disabled. So you're just like completely ignoring that part. But it was the other part was about what was the group? If someone attacked. I forgot what it was about.
Yes, one person attacked another one. You analyzed.
I think I just saw DJ Khaled in a Corvette.
Hold on. Do I need to read this paragraph out to the room again because someone's like dyslexic or something? 3 teens attacked a 13-year-old Orthodox Jewish boy who's, because he's an Orthodox Jew, clearly a Jew, threatening him, calling him a Jew, and throwing a knife at him. This isn't an example of someone committing a hate crime against a Jew when that person was in fact not a Jew.
Yeah, but what we were talking about is I was actually a part of the group because I was attacked for being disabled and for being gay. Now, I'm not actually disabled and I'm not actually gay, but I am actually disabled.
So, are you sure about the gay?
Wait, so you can call him a gay region. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to. It slipped out. I didn't mean to. You can mute me if you want to. It's fine.
I did.
It was me.
Someone black and Jewish is.
I was just evaluating the situation.
But no. I'm the student, and I really don't know anything.
Hey, you are.
No, like you. No.
Hey, hold on. If I had a little certification piece of paper, hold on, atheist. If I have a little certification piece of paper, does that make my fact more or less wrong? Do I have a career?
Again.
Wait, you think that you can't be a career? Hold on, atheist. Do you think that someone can't be in school and have a career? You think that's not possible?
No, it's physics.
I think it's not true with you.
You think it's not? You think that all the other students are both students and have careers at the same time, but I'm just especially different. I'm just especially.
Steven, atheist is just admitting to you that.
What kind of lawyer are you, Silent?
Excuse me.
What kind of silent lawyer?
Thanks, Patty. Anyway, so it depends. Wait, so Patty gave me the.
Generally speaking, someone who goes to school for law.
I didn't give anybody before, but it's so many people talking at the same time. You guys gotta calm down a little bit.
Because we're not talking silent asking questions. So generally speaking, people who are going to school for law do not have a career in law.
Yes, they do.
Bro, what are you talking about? What is how the whole room thinks that what you said was just insanely stupid?
No, he's right. They're probably busy studying.
And they have to pass a bar exam.
You can't have a career while you're in school. So someone who's working during college.
Yeah, you can work during college, but are you actually a lawyer that's going? That's like
wait. In order to have a career, you must have this piece of paper. I love that.
You realize having more in law. We're talking about law. In order to be a lawyer, you literally have to be certified.
Atheist, can I ask you a question?
Yes, and your career can't begin until you have that little piece of paper. What it means to have a career means to have that piece of paper. Of course not. That's fucking ridiculous.
You do need that paper, actually.
Can you guys let AK talk for you as a
Let him have the
again. So here's the thing.
The reality is, atheist, you're still able to have a career in law, despite not not being a lawyer, right? So paralegals
As a lawyer?
have a career in law.
What was the context?
Paralegals, you can clerk for judges. Like, what are you talking about?
Right? So at the end of the day, you can be a summer associate.
Paralegal cannot give legal advice.
So let me give you another example.
No. I have an example right here.
If you watch the show Suits, right?
Oh my God, we're talking about TV shows now.
Not directly with a TV show though.
I have a real life example. So listen, I have a job as
CGI, we can hear your homies.
CGI, we can hear your friends. So I have a job, right, in which I do agriculture. I go to the farm, I like work with livestock, and then like I pick cabbage.
Different.
Hold on, I pick cabbage and shit, right? And then I go to school online to do agriculture schoolwork. And am I an agriculturalist or am I an agriculture student?
You don't need to pass the you don't need to pass the bar exam to grow a farm. Like, in order to become a lawyer, you need to pass the bar exam.
Under this understanding, someone that would be still in medical school while they were doing an externship for a doctor, working directly underneath that doctor, shadowing that doctor, and doing medical work under that doctor, would not be working on his career because he doesn't have his medical license yet.
Also, by the way, hold on.
I can use some more.
They wouldn't be a surgeon.
Here, atheist. I can use some more.
That was already in depth. That was already in depth.
No, listen to you.
That was literally so in depth, Patty, that you don't need to go.
I can go even further, right? Like in order
you don't need to though.
Because
you want to
can stop.
Dude,
I'll do what I want. I don't need you to tell me. I don't need you to tell me like when I can go.
I'm giving you a really good example.
So hold on.
I'm just muting AK so I can hear Patty.
In order to be a farm manager, you typically need a degree to be a farm manager, and you need 10 years of experience. But if I go and I
don't think that's true at all.
Stop. Yeah,
I think you just need some livestock in a barn.
And you shut the fuck up. So, my God. So I don't know. I don't know why these bald-headed bitch men want to talk over me. So like first, so like
you're talking about pigs and cows.
In
nobody
order,
gives a shit.
You know, your mom's a pig and cow. Shut the fuck up.
Look, guys. Patty is a livestock handler.
In order, right, for most farm manager jobs, you need up to 5 to 10 years of experience and a degree in farm management or business management. Now, if I go and I run my own rinky-dink ass farm and I call myself a farm manager, am I actually a farm manager to you, even though I am actually managing the farm, or am I just like some guy who farms?
You're a farm manager, like my stepdad was a farm manager.
He's a farm manager and one who manages a farm.
But he doesn't need to pass to get pass an exam.
Can we just get over the fact that atheist is bad at silence?
Can we just get over the fact that atheist feels like emasculated by someone who's smarter than him and definitely stronger than him?
How is this about me being mad at him? Silent brought this up.
You're clear. Whoa! You started the conversation by attacking me and saying, "Oh, I'm just a student. I'm just a student." That's what you started this conversation.
So we were talking about a different topic, and then I claimed that he was a student, not a lawyer, and then he got all upset and brought up a completely unrelated topic from weeks ago. And now it's me being angry, and somehow this is me being butthurt.
Yes, anyways, it couldn't be more butthurt if you stick the nature out there. Again, in America,
just because I pointed out he's a student. Do you realize why it matters? Because he said to Pickle,
you get your diploma is when all the knowledge comes in.
So he said to Pickle that he doesn't help Pickle code, while Pickle actually has a career in coding.
I heard the arguments, and I think it's fair to say when one is studying law,
please.
It's completely apples to oranges because of that. And we know he's not a lawyer because he would have to pass a bar exam, and if he passed the bar exam, he wouldn't be going to school.
Okay, let's look at the definition of a career. A profession for which one trains and which is undertaken as a permanent calling. 2, a field for or pursuit of consecutive progressive achievement, especially in public, professional, and business life.
Definition 1 was
neither of these statements indicate that someone cannot have a career while they are still studying to do that thing. And by the way, if law students didn't have careers, if law students didn't have careers in laws, then why does every single law office with their professional services that help people try to find jobs call it your career services? Why is it that happens?
Shit.
Why is it that students get jobs while they're still students?
That's
tough.
It's because they get internships and they're not actually lawyers.
And they're still pursuing their careers. It's still a profession for which one trains and which is undertaken as a permanent calling.
Can we please, for the love of God, stop beating around the bush?
Okay.
Dude, AK, can you stop continuously talking?
So the fact is that that's just to get them experience. It's not doesn't actually mean that they're a lawyer, and they're all they are is an intern assistant.
Nobody's saying they are.
Why do we keep letting Canadians on this platform?
Atheists, no one is saying they are.
No, but wait, can we stop beating around the bush? The context of that statement was specifically
because this is a point that Silence acting like he's a lawyer again.
He is saying that you can have a career while in school. He's saying nothing about you being an official lawyer in school.
That was the context
There's
of
two
my
differences.
that was the context of what I said.
Yes, and we're talking about careers.
River, you weren't even here, so why are you
I've been here the entire time listening to you fuck
little community in politics.
Then why? How do you not understand the context?
Pickle, can you pour me a gin and
He
tonic,
turned this
man?
into from something I said about how he's not a lawyer.
I'm feeling like a 120-pound girl right now.
As well, because
it's like ridiculous.
I actually like adding like a few cucumber slices and some pepper. It's actually pretty nice. I feel like a pretentious prick doing it, but it's still nice.
I just want to get blacked out.
You look like an Asian adding
limes feel like it just makes it way too sour.
Right? So
you know what? I'm gonna try that the next time I make it. Thank you for the tip, dude.
Yeah, no, it just makes you look Vietnamese. Fuck's sake. Cucumber in your fucking gin. Fuck off with that.
That's the traditional way of how you do it.
The English is like desecrating our gin, dude. Shame on you.
What kind of cucumbers do you have over
English
cucumbers? Where are you pulling the cucumbers out of, mate?
England, dude.
I don't know. Let's ask Patty. She'll probably come up with a
cucumber
anecdotal statement about.
Is it Q as in like QAnon cumbers?
Yes, those are.
Oh, wow. It's like
cucumbers.
Right? That's what it's more like.
See, I mean, they are growing at a rate of like 3.2 millimeters a day, which is the exact date on which Trump was supposed to sign a certain bill.
Wait, do you have fresh cucumbers? You grow them? A little farm, dude?
Pickle, what the fuck are you talking about, dude?
Pickle just never stops talking. He's like
nobody cares.
His volume goes up and down, but it's like constant, velocity kind of.
Okay, so has A4C admitted that a career can start while you're still in school?
You know he hasn't.
He's not going to concede.
The fact that you're so petty, silent, it proves that you're still in school. Like nobody who actually has an established career behaves like this.
Pickle, why are you so jealous? Why are you so jealous?
If you
that is so
give someone
funny,
legal
bro.
advice, can you go to jail?
If you what?
If you give someone legal advice, can you actually get in trouble for that?
Yeah, you definitely could get trouble for that.
Pickle,
you take the Hippocratic Oath.
Look, Pickle, game recognizes game.
No, the Hippocratic Oath is doctors. No, but look, the main way to get around it is you can still give legal advice. You just have to say, I'm not a lawyer. I can't give you. You should probably get a lawyer, and then you can just give legal advice.
Yeah, that's the caveat. Like that's the caveat.
So
right,
it's
the caviar.
I'm
the one who started this topic.
So can I like by rule give legal advice? No, but can I actually give legal advice? Yes.
All right.
So basically, I started this topic. I think it's gone to shit. So I'd like to change it, but I would still like to say, Silo, have no respect for anybody in your industry. I think you guys are a bunch of feckless grifters.
Oh man, bro. And I think that middle management coders are some.
I'm not middle management, nigga. I'm a director.
Come on, bro. I think that middle management coders are some shit.
Pickle, are you really?
Weirded out because somebody at the level talks like this, dude.
Someone at your level, yes.
Yeah, I'm at founder director level.
Pickle, can I ask
you're a founder director. Yeah.
Pickle, let me ask you something.
Yeah, my dick is 12 inches. Yeah.
One day you'll see me. One day you'll see me, and you'll recognize me. And then I'm just gonna put a pickle.
I don't know what you look like.
You sound like every.
I'm serious. I'm gonna put a pickle.
One day you're gonna see me, and you're gonna see all my degrees, all my 13 different degrees from my 10 different universities, and then you're like, oh no.
No, I remember the guy you were saying he was this and the other, and then I'm gonna put a pickle Rick on my desk. So when you see that video and you're like, yeah, that's that motherfucker, then you can dox me and try to cancel me, right? I'm gonna do it just for you, just to prove you that shit doesn't work. That's my goal.
You know,
I
Pickle,
can cancel you in a second.
for someone who isn't retired, you're on Discord an awful lot.
I told you, I pick up. You're the
Remember
only
what
one
happened
afraid
when they
of that
tried to
cancel.
crucify Jesus, dude? Go ahead and try to crucify me.
I told you, you're the only one afraid of that cancel.
That was a noise.
Who doesn't love crucifying Jesus? Like that's just the real question.
Like I really want to ask you this. Like, why are you always hating on lawyers? Is it because they get more money than you?
Always hating?
You are.
Always hating.
I'm gonna be honest, bro. I feel
No, so
I feel like everybody is like claims they're a lawyer. Like, you shouldn't be surprised, to be frank.
Like lawyers be getting ass, and you be
Frank
sitting
is
there with your
lawyers,
bald spot drinking
lawyers
gin
are
and tonic.
Lawyers
Patty, you're so young.
a lot of my friends were lawyers, like for a pretty long time. Like, so I don't know what you're talking about. Like, nobody's jealous when
Are
we
you
get
just
asked
mad?
together.
Like, are you just mad
do a
that
lot of things
are you just mad that your lawyer couldn't get your money back after you invested in a bad business?
No, the thing is, lawyers are actually
it's because Pickle's job is expendable. Pickle's job is expendable.
It's just strange to me, and I don't know if it's like I don't know if it's a generational thing or like what it is, right? But there are like some there are some people out there. There's some people out there that seem to think that like lawyers are just these like disgusting, slimy, shitty people who will say and do anything for money, and then like when you sit down and then you have a conversation, and you like when you sit down, you like have a conversation with somebody, like you'll talk to them for like 30 minutes, and I mean in person, obviously Discord's a shit show, right? But then people will see like, oh, okay, cool, and suddenly they just like, oh, I don't know why, you know, I've literally
Holy crap, I'm definitely never hiring you as a lawyer.
Little Bo Peep, what
That did sound very good.
While Little Bo Peep is a decent guy, you're the perfect embodiment.
You lost the Discord client today. How does it feel?
Lawyers' personalities.
Sorry, did you just undeafen
you're literally one of the worst personalities on the server, and you want to be a lawyer. It's like just a perfect fucking embodiment.
What do you mean? He's perfect.
At least he's not a gay retard.
Hold on. Hey, what are you guys saying?
I'm pretty sure I'm at least better than average for sure.
He's bad faith. Right? He's willing to go like without in until he wins. Like he's perfect for being a lawyer.
Yeah, exactly.
It appeals to like the crowd, aka jury.
Flips the facts in any way he can to win an argument. Like he's literally training on here every day.
Like being a lawyer is like a
it's like let's not focus on the truth.
Okay, the only thing that is honorable is being a CCP show like you. That is the only
out of all the people in this room who are emotional, it's not me, buddy, dude. Out of all the, you may want to say somebody makes like all these emotional arguments all the time, but like we both know I'm not a deeply emotional crybaby.
Yeah, you are.
Yo, Atheist, you're
doing it right now.
Crybaby on this fucking server. Like, how can you talk?
Like you and Pickle are the reason I hate.
Yeah, I think I DM'd you once, and I had like hours of conversation with mods trying to resolve that. Like, I don't want to hear that shit from you.
Like, literally, you're a crybaby. Like, I don't know why.
Bro, this gen is
what's wrong with being Pickle is the reason he
I don't know.
Absolutely nothing wrong with being.
The ice is almost done, so it has a nice,
from my vantage point, I'm just hearing a lot of projection.
Like,
good.
Nah, man.
So honestly,
Anyways,
like,
guys,
Obama is the main reason
moral of
why
the day is apply your hand
white
cream. Make
people-
sure your body is moisturized enough. Drink water. Eat good foods. You know, I'm trying to bring in some positivity.
Make sure when you exercise, you have like a safe
You
space.
exercise, walk at least 10,000 steps a day.
No, if you start to just like
Wake us advice. Make sure your hands have a.
Yo, y'all are just making stop. If I see you lighting up on party, so you can be muted. Y'all are just making a ton of noise, dude, to the point where it's like it's no longer people over talking each other. It's just like a chorus of noise. Can y'all not do that?
What do you know? Silent found a way to mute Pickle. There's a shocker.
I haven't muted a single person in this conversation, dude. Fuck off.
So I mean,
it was me.
Yeah. So to wrap up, gentlemen, like a minimum amount of walking keeps your heart healthy. You know, stay positive. Smiling makes you happy too. I wish you all a good night. Pickle, put some cucumbers in that shit. Do magic. Peace.
Wait, where's it nighttime?
Yeah, Germany probably.
Yo,
Man,
Patty, why do you like beating on me? What the
Like 2
fuck is
a.m. or
this shit?
something, I
Black
don't
on
know.
black violence.
I'm not beating on you. What?
Nighttime for Joe Biden.
Yo, silent.
What if Joe Biden actually was like, you know,
like at a
hear you,
bar
white?
or
Pickle, that's some racial injustice right there.
You know it, dude. It's like color purple up in this bitch, dude.
I think I realized now this game isn't like Path to Exile. It's like Torchlight.
Bro, honestly, I'm playing a game called Bloodborne. It's pretty fun.
No, I've never played Dark Souls.
Yo, Patty, I have a question.
This is
What?
okay.
The movie?
So wait a minute, 1 second. Pickle, what?
This isn't Dark Souls, but yeah, it's made by the same creators.
Pickle, what did you say?
I said, have you ever watched the movie Color Purple at all?
Yeah, and you remind me of Harpo.
Bro,
that's jokes.
And they got Pickle over here.
Dude, every time Pickle tries to hit on Patty, he gets rejected so wholeheartedly, but he keeps trying. And I, you know what? Keep shooting your shot, brother, dude. You're hitting that back and bouncing off so hard.
With you, dude. It's been like drunk and coherent. The thing is like I'm not really attracted to black women like that, but there's something.
I knew he was
You seem very attracted
I knew he
to
was
black
gonna say
women.
that.
It's just what they always say too.
I knew he was gonna say that.
Pickle, you sound very attracted to black women like that.
No, I'm just intrigued, dude, because I'm not usually into them, right? So
He's not into them. He's intrigued.
Yeah.
Black woman,
Oh, so you are into Patty?
Yeah.
Oh wait, he's obviously into Patty. He can't even deny that, bro. The number of times he's hit on her is insane.
Oh, hail Hitler.
Holy shit.
I personally think you make
Wow, that's a little bit too much.
Why do the white boys always have to like ruin the fun, dude?
Yeah, whoever that was, if I find out who you are, you're getting detained. So you should probably not say that on the server.
It was the guy that's like the 17th user down.
It was atheist.
No,
it was not
X Castaway, and then he was like,
false accusation by CGI means he's got to be detained for saying that I'm making Nazi comments.
I gotta be detained.
Fuck me in the ass and call me
You
daddy.
said that I said hey to kill Hitler when I did. That breaks the rule.
I thought that
Dude, fuck me in the ass and call me daddy. This fucking monster just fucking
Riddler.
This fucking monster just comboed me.
When I saw it, that's why.
One at a time, please.
Okay, so I have a very serious question. How much money do you guys think if we pulled money together, got like a real world situation, and like filmed this shit and like streamed it?
Filmed this shit and streamed it.
What are you trying to do here?
Yeah, get 10 or 15 of the top users here and put them in a house, dude, and just see what happens.
Big brother shit.
Like that Kardashian type shit.
The problem with that would be like the problem with that was that it would very quickly turn into Lord of the Flies, and we all know how that ended. Okay.
It doesn't even have to necessarily be like the top users. It just has to be the most annoying users and the worst users to actually argue with.
Well, actually, I started my career in law.
Who's the right wingers hate most? Those people have to go in the house first.
If we're doing Lord of the Rings,
you hate me. You literally call me the leftist boy.
Hey, super capitalist. By the way, that Castaway guy's in here right now.
Are you calling him super capitalist when there's like two super capitalists in here?
And he left.
Yeah, Pickle, do you want to?
Oh wait, never mind.
Pickle, you're in here, right, Pickle?
Yeah, I'm pretty gone right now.
I'll watch out.
So do you wanna? Now's the perfect time to ask. Then, do you wanna bankroll me on if I win some graphics cards and resell them?
No, man.
Are you asking if I want to go in with you on buying?
I'm talking to Pickle.
Oh, okay.
Oh, so the way it works, if you want to buy a GPU, you have to like get a raffle at like most places nowadays. All right. So
yeah.
You get,
So then, if I win it, then I sell it, and then he gets half the profit, I get half the profit.
Nigga, why would I trust atheists for the cause? Yo, like, if atheists for the cause were to do this to me, I know I'm running off the plug. I know I am. So.
Wait, no. The thing is, I've done this myself, dude. I sold a bunch of like GTX. Like,
no. I'm saying expecting a nigga on Discord to split money with you. That's stupid.
Atheist, why don't you just sign up for the raffle yourself and then just
I did.
Just okay, and then just sell it and keep all the money to yourself. You're the one that signed up for it. Keep your money.
Because literally, some of the graphics cards are like $2,500. I don't have that kind of money.
He's hedging his bets. I don't see what
I am not trusting you with my money. Who in their right mind would trust you with their money, Atheist?
No one.
So he gets a cut, I get a cut. Pickle and I know each other.
You're not gonna. Who do you think you're gonna finesse here? If someone's dumb enough to give you money, they deserve to get finessed. So
true.
At this point, I'm not even gonna stop.
If you can convince some dumb fuck, he should do it.
That's such a big.
Why would I? Okay, here's the thing. If I stepped Pickle, it would just screw me over from any future like potential investments.
Yeah,
but if I
money from me,
what do you mean potential investment, nigga? You got three bands off of this.
But if I go through with it, then
girls don't even make this type of money.
Then we have a relationship that we can build off in the future. So why would you want to like building the network's more important than
you can give me $100 and I probably never show up to Discord again.
Bro, you sound like the biggest lick right now.
Listen. I'm not gonna lie to you. Networking is way fucking better than just getting like fucking whatever you guys do.
I'm sorry. Networking on Discord is worth about it.
On Discord, definitely not. That's a glory. No.
It is literally worth as much of networking in a glory. Oh my god.
Yeah. On Discord, if you try to network on Discord, then like all other avenues have obviously failed.
Dude, Pickle's a coder. Bro, he worked on Minecraft. Come on.
Pickle could probably like Dude, Pickle would be like, "Oh, you want to steal my fucking money? I'm gonna DDoS you," and I'd be off Discord for like a month.
Can we make this conversation
your router? It's not serious,
bro. Pickle is a modder for Minecraft.
Oh my god. So can we get serious for a minute? So the issue I have, the reflection I've been having lately is kind of like the multiple different types of people.
You're the reason why Windows Vista was so shit.
Speak, dude. Can you stop? So like the multiple different types of people I am, depending upon the platform.
Go ahead.
And I thought how it's such a weird phenomenon that we like judge each. I'm almost done. What the fuck? The weird thing about how we judge each other based on what we think we know about a person from some particular context they're acting in, and you don't, because people are kind of like 50 different people depending upon the context. What do you guys think, dude?
That is true to an extent, but you can take like surrounding information, like the fact that I'm from the Midwest, and we have like a culture of like maintaining credibility and like not wanting to screw people and things like that, and that can become a part of the profile.
Sorry, Chicago is in the Midwest, right?
I'm from Wisconsin, and it's in the Midwest, but Illinois is in the Midwest, yes.
Okay, so like, wouldn't
that's a big city?
Wouldn't that necessarily like kind of preclude, all right, the Midwest from being like fitting the stereotype if like the biggest region in the Midwest is Chicago?
No, because that's a big city. Another variable.
Like the entire Chicago metropolitan area exists, right?
Never trust anybody from a big city. Like
what does this have to do with what I was talking about?
Yeah, no, I have no fucking clue what we're talking about anymore.
Because you're talking about how you can like
never trust anyone from a big city, but trust random niggas on Discord.
How people have different personalities on and off. So, but like, I think you're more consistent if you're like honest, and if you're honest, and that honesty comes from certain regions.
No, but
I really don't think that's true. I really don't.
How could you guys not have understood what I said? I'm talking about at a bigger picture. You never really know a person because contextually they are like different people. You see what I'm saying?
I was agreeing with that.
So it's weird that we like look at somebody's like whatever personal life and then make assessments about, for instance, what should happen to them in their business life, etc.
I'm sure a lot of people are very different from how they are on Discord, how they are in real life. I like to think that like the way I am on Discord is like a pretty unfortunately accurate representation of how I actually am.
You got a good mic.
So Pickle, are you kind of talking about like?
I don't go around saying like fuck
Pickle,
white people.
Are you talking about when people go to like when companies go to like social media, say like, oh, you said something on Facebook, we're not going to hire you because.
I don't like most of my political opinions aren't things I'd be afraid of expressing at the workplace, like excluding the fuck white people shit. That's really it.
Dude, I'm trying to get to the meat of the matter. Like, basically, some football players on Xbox Live, and he goes ham and calls someone the N-word, right? It's really stupid, like, if we were-
bro.
Why? Like, say someone he didn't even demonstrate, like, what?
Well, how is it even a question whether or not you should get fired?
You should not get fired.
Yo, you guys are such C-words. Jesus
Well,
Christ.
let me give you more context because you seem to have missed it, right? So some random football player who plays on Xbox Live, he had a moment, he yells out the N-word. Nobody knows who the fuck he is, but somebody recognizes it, and then it gets ran up the flagpole. He loses his job. For what? Like, for what?
Because you said the N-word, nigga, don't get caught lacking in these Discord screens.
So how is anything actually?
Don't get caught lacking. If you're gonna shit, don't get caught lacking, bro.
It's actually just about the left pushing on the political agenda.
Bro, you can't.
That's why they're. Can you fucking stop? Holy
what do you
shit.
mean stop, dog? I was
You're just saying the same thing like 5 times.
And what do you want, atheist? Do you want me to like?
I want you to shut up for a little while.
Wow. Why are you so white today, atheist?
Because I like productive conversations.
Wow, you're saying black people.
Silent. Yo, Silent, can you deal with this, dude?
What's going on right now? I'm really confused.
This is being
racist. Won't stop fucking talking, dude. Like, and you keep saying the same thing over and over, and you won't let.
Buddy, but like you're also saying the same thing over and over.
I'm not. I was gonna say
yes,
something.
You are. You
different,
asked me the question. Why?
So to respond to what Pickle said, like, yeah, I also wonder, like, what is the actual benefit? So I'm responding. Do you see what he does this whole time? So like, we should fire people to create like some sort of benefit in society, right? Or some sort of benefit to the company. But like, what is the actual benefit for firing them? There's, generally speaking, you're actually going to become more efficient.
Yeah, exactly. So my thought process was as follows. If I were to create, because you just said, I'll play off what you said, if you get caught lacking. All right. So somebody decides to get in the business of creating software that basically gets into every social media platform, monitors it, has voice recognition and some other kind of data, unmax you pretty easily. And what you're saying is we should just all be losing our jobs because everybody pretty damn sure does.
If you agree to use a platform knowing full well that they have this type of technology, and you continue to go on because your technology already exists. Okay, great. The technology already exists. So you're taking on the risk of when you say the fucking N-word, and in fact get caught lacking. Thus, like, bro, is there anything that we have to gain from like allowing individuals to otherwise say that word? You can be saying it in your fucking bathroom. I don't care.
So, dude, you're probably mistaken the point behind these questions because I've actually been consulting with some people on something like this. So, wait, can you please relax? So, a question I have is, would you endorse a company that goes around doing this shit for profit?
Yes.
Like, you wouldn't find any problem with it?
There.
It's like some 1984 territory.
Yeah. I'd love to do that.
All right, cool. Well, thank you for your feedback.
And bro, this is actually a good business idea. Yo, this is actually a great business idea.
So this is funny. Get this. I just got a notification on my phone by ESPN. March Madness overtime. Number 7 Iowa State beats number 2 Texas A&M for women's fucking basketball.
Oh my god, I got an alert about women's basketball.
It's a special alert with the noise. Like,
wait, why are you triggered by this?
It's the fact that like this is this tournament. Like, I don't even think it makes money. Like, nobody watches this shit.
Wait. Sorry. Why are you triggered by that? You got a notification on your phone that you just swipe away,
Jesus
dude.
Christ, why is
you get triggered
white for 5 minutes?
Here we go again.
I give less of a fuck about Amber Alert's children.
Dude, you are actually
when you actually want me to answer your questions.
Oh my nigga, there is no good answer to this question. If you're thinking about a fucking notification for an app you downloaded, my nigga,
do you want me to actually answer it now?
I don't care.
Just gonna keep nobody
cares.
For me.
Nobody cares.
Okay, so the answer is that it's not a big deal, but it shows that they're trying way too fucking hard to push women's basketball, which nobody actually fucking watches or cares about.
What's wrong with that?
I don't like women's basketball, and a lot of people also don't watch women's basketball. Therefore, I am righteously annoyed by me getting a notification on my phone about this women's basketball game. Shut the fuck up, dude! Oh my god!
It's not an Amber Alert, bro.
You realize that You realize
that is the most entitled shit I've ever fucking heard, bro.
So you realize that I've actually watched women's basketball in the past, and that
wow, you've watched women's basketball before.
Without getting interrupted, and I don't mind. I don't mind it at all. Well, it refutes your argument. Your argument is that I don't watch it. I do.
Okay,
no, your argument. Oh my god.
The argument is, nigga, that, like, regardless of whether or not you watch it,
you guys are trying way too hard to just like attack me. It's like ridiculous.
No, you're the one that we weren't discussing something. You're the one that mentioned that you were so annoyed that you got
I didn't say I was annoyed.
Notification on your phone. You were so triggered that you felt the need to announce it.
Triggered either. This is just lawyer speak. More emotionalism.
Silent, you're like spurting, bro. You just critique the notification. You're like, oh my god, atheist.
Who fucking cares? It's a notification. That's some privileged bullshit.
How is Silent a mod when he does this like on every topic? He just the conversation every time. How is he a mod? I don't get it.
Buddy, because the standard for a mod is literally like you probably like 5 weeks ago when Doobie's drunk.
I mean, that's true.
Oh shit, dude.
No, actually that's not true, but that is true for most users on the server, but that's not true for atheists.
I won't be surprised if Downey reads.
Everybody good? Are you guys good now, dude? Because this was like really bad listening to you guys. You guys good?
Yeah, so funny, bro. I got a notification on my phone from my Samsung whatever services or my iPhone Google services. Oh, the horror!
You guys actually took the bait. So you remember the topic we were talking about?
You don't invite
Yeah, what?
Uber Eats.
I forgot. We're talking about like whether it made sense to like fire.
I don't even know what I'm gonna order on Uber Eats today. I don't even know.
Just jumpstart your memory, or are we moving on?
Doesn't matter when you get it for free.
Dude, this is one of his hustles, dude. He does his thing.
Why do you be doing that shit? Like, are you?
He's learning life skills. He's learning how to be an entrepreneur.
Nah, it's literally clicking a button, bro.
This is how I attack the corporation.
It's called a money printer, bro.
Nah, you're definitely. I can hear it in your voice when you describe it.
Money machine. Totally.
Yeah, he's probably molding about how much he actually pays in Uber Eats, dude. This is
for sure. I think
definitely. That's why I have the Uber Eats pass, right? Nice.
Is anyone in the Biden administration who's not a cuck?
Oh, is there anybody who's white who's not gay?
Hard to find.
Right, so what I'm starting to believe is like now hold on, let me get this out. So I'm starting to believe now that like certain types of white men are like oppressing people, otherwise they don't feel like substantiated. I'm starting to believe that now that you guys don't have blacks to target, you're going after like the liberals and other groups. That's true. It's like you just have to find like somebody
I just don't feel good, right?
It's a new feature of white people.
No, not all white people. Just some of you. Some of you seem to have the weird.
That's all.
What the fuck's going on?
My suggestion is to just form some normal hobbies that like occupy your time and energy and make you feel proud of yourself versus just like going around trying to
you could, instead of being a waste of white skin, you could just go to school like a normal white person.
I think Hillary Clinton should be president.
I think
you guys could use your white privilege for once to do something good for the world. Just go to school, man. Go to school.
It also makes you feel good too.
Right? We're getting dumber and dumber. So that's one way.
Who is this white boy?
Wait, is someone just babbling? What's happening?
Yeah. Some niggas just like actually having a fucking seizure.
That's a way. Hey, look, Is it not true that each generation is getting dumber than fuck?
No, it isn't.
Oh, but it only applies to white people.
No. It's just older generation just tends to shit on that newer generation.
I don't think you're caught up with the literature here. One of the problems is
Joe Biden.
Yo, y'all niggas really don't have anything better to do than just like make noise randomly.
Yeah, let me ask you a quick question. Whoever's like, saying the most right now, what do you imagine your IQ is measured?
Obama.
That's pretty cringe.
No, like legit. Like, what do you're molding
just
about
take
other
a guess,
people.
bro. Like, take a guess.
You're the one who seems to be hurt by my original mark. So
I'm pretty relaxed, dude. I'm chilling. How are you doing?
You're so dispensable. It's actually absurd. Like literally, we could just exchange you for any just pick any random white male on the server, and like we get the exact same content. I just want you to know you're not special at all.
So hold on. Now that we know I'm relaxed and you're relaxed, let me ask you a quick question. Like, what do you think your IQ would measure as?
Who gives a fuck?
Why is it like every single black user on here is like a quality besides Patty?
So I have a question. I have a question. So in general, you assume or believe that like Americans' IQs are decreasing. Do you think that applies to you?
No, I buck the trend because I'm a white male and I have a very big brain.
The population.
Oh, my nigga, could you please use some white privilege to get better internet? Like, Jesus Christ.
Relax. So you're the big brain. You're the person who defines the trend. I guess
Let me characterize what brain.
Yeah. Okay. Do you think you're a big brain compared to other people? Do you think you're the smartest guy in the room?
I mean, unironically, people on the server, especially in relation to politics, are probably big brain compared to the average person. But like,
no. I'm asking them in general, dude. Across all the different measures of intelligence, do you think you're like one of the big brains?
Probably a brain.
He's probably like a good 80. He's probably like a good 80, a good 83.
I'm gonna try to let you
probably
IQ.
You want to leave me somewhere? I'm happy to let you leave me somewhere. So let me answer for you. Do I think I'm smarter than the average?
I think he's at 120.
You're too jiggy.
Wait, hold on. So I'm trying to go with your rhetoric, right? You think everybody's becoming dumber, and general people are dumb, so you must assume you're yourself a big brain, right? Comparatively.
Why are you? Wait,
I think humans are losing certain skills, so it used to be a lot more important to remember things, whereas like now we can just look shit up. So like processing speed and like critical thinking are a lot more important.
Why are you guys
just
talking so much about this? Let the guy speak for himself, right? So, yeah. So Sam, dude, right? So you're one of the smart ones, I guess. Why do you? How do you not know your IQ, but you're saying everybody else is dumb? You could end up being
Joe Biden.
Dummies are often unaware of their dumbness.
Michelle Obama.
Yo, the person is
Why do you just assume never having measured your IQ?
That has nothing to do though with my premise though.
What metrics do you use? Oh, wait, so you're critiquing yourself then? You're saying you're one of the dumb ones and
you're doing like an ad hoc or something right now. It's not, you're not an
ad hoc or something. I'm also retarded.
Yeah.
I don't know what an ad hoc is.
It's true.
What do you think an ad hoc is? Is Pickle saying, okay, that's not what an ad hoc is. Pickle saying his argument. Just wait, buddy. Just wait.
Oh, that is what it is, actually.
White boy. Shh. So, yes. So,
having black explain what an
he came up with the statement that he thinks the generations are getting dumber, and then in return, people ask personal questions.
Okay, it's irrelevant. That's not what an ad-hom is. Like,
actually, it is.
Oh, okay. Whitey, can I explain why it's not ad-hom?
So once again, it's not ad-hom because he didn't say that he's in fact descriptively speaking incorrect because of the fact that he could possibly be retarded. He in fact said that he could possibly be retarded. There's a difference between these two things. Now, stay white.
No, it was
literally nothing wrong with being retarded.
Oh, it's an inference I made. Okay,
he never tackled the argument. He just asked, "Oh, what's your
need to tackle it?"
Well, yeah, with you running your fucking mouth on the sideline, how could he, dude? Right? So can you please stop trying to defend somebody who can perfectly defend themselves?
Pickle, how about if I just comply with everything coming down the pike? With the
There's nothing. You're the one who put it in the pipeline, right?
No, you really like them pipes. You love what's
to clear things up because he didn't address the argument in any way, and he did use an ad hominem.
So just quickly, you're the one that came in here molding about dumb people becoming dumber. So I was just curious where you saw yourself, relatively speaking. It was just a simple.
He's talking about different generations of kids.
So like we're gonna continue arguing about like, buddy, do you know? You're unwilling to take a guess what your IQ is because I don't know. Like you lack the confidence of a typical white male. I get it. Whatever. Can we move on?
Exactly. Yeah. All right, yeah, let's do that.
That's irrelevant to the argument. I don't understand how
care.
you don't care.
No, I really don't care about the argument in the first place. I would be perfectly willing to grant his argument to be true. It would change absolutely nothing about like anything.
Okay, so sometimes what a person is doing, they're letting you talk long enough so you can make it clear what kind of intelligence level you have, right? And you've done enough of that. So I think you should be careful, like, airing this idea that, like, everybody around you is stupid and becoming dumber because you end up sounding dumb in the process.
Pickle, I think you should learn how to say the word ask.
Dude, not gonna happen. I'm saying it in the way that I likely, like to.
Yeah, you guys overtalk that guy so badly. Never you got to respond.
If you have some standard right now, like, what should be enunciated, maybe
you gotta ask the question, what do you think your IQ is? Here's a number, 120. There you go. The response should be that simple, but no, this retard chose to go on and.
Well, he's right. It's irrelevant to his point, though.
Okay, who gives a fuck?
I was just wondering if he was one of the
like, people are allegedly getting dumber. This individual hasn't presented any evidence of such claim.
Never even gave him the opportunity to. You kept overtalking.
It's almost like text chat exists. You can
his boyfriend, which is you, won't shut the fuck up.
No, actually, it's because you asked his boyfriend.
Let me mute you, bro. You're becoming very annoying.
Oh my
like,
god!
Now that
just get back to the conversation. Stop muting.
Okay, do you guys have anything more interesting than this guy's conjecture?
Not yet.
Yeah, I'm listening, dude. You got the floor.
We're whistling.
No, Sam, go ahead.
Okay, now that we've gotten your boyfriend to stop trying to defend you, you can probably speak for yourself, dude.
My man went away.
Alright, it's quiet, dude. So let's move along here.
Oh, your boyfriend's not fending for you right now, bro. You're looking bad out here.
Not his boyfriend. You guys are being
I didn't even want to entertain this.
You are.
But pointing out
it's
something.
so obvious that you guys are dating.
Can we change the topic? Like,
what's your IQ? Before you make an argument, let's just derail for a moment here and let's just go down this.
Okay, like even if the average IQ people,
you're muted.
Okay, even if the average IQ people was dropping, like in the way that he described it, who gives a shit? What does that change about our planet? Anybody have like any evidence of the implications of this? Are we less productive because of it? Clearly not. Do we have less innovation because of it? Clearly not. Do we have a worse quality of life because of it? Clearly not.
Yo, can you shut up? Yo, can you shut up for 2 seconds, bro? I just want to ask him a question. Yo, you here?
Yeah.
So I heard a little bit what you guys were discussing. I did want to hear your take. So, do you believe the difference between ad hominem and an...
Oh wow, you're gonna try
the what?
Do you believe there's a difference between an ad hominem and an
Well, typically, yes.
Y'all still talking about ad homs? Is this what's really going on?
Technically, there is a difference, right? But you're in the middle of like an argument or discussion, and you start focusing on that.
You're a brainlet. Here's why.
At the very least, it's a derail.
No, he's right.
No, you're fucking retarded. And the ad hominem
using it in more likely an argument.
No, maybe it wasn't literally an attack. As like an derail.
You're a brainlet, therefore are wrong because you are a brainlet.
Every time you open your mouth, it's just like
you're a brainlet, and here's why. And also your argument shit, and here's why. Unrelated to you being a brainlet.
It was a personal attack because he said he literally said you think you're the fucking smart one.
Sure, he did say that. Yeah, he did say that.
Oh my god, why people stop?
The whole point of bringing up the subject was to say that he's not the unique
Atheist,
one.
please stop talking. Look, I don't fucking care what you guys talk about. I don't care if you roast each other, but you need to do it one at a time. This is such a fucking shit show. At least have some fucking class while you roast each other. My god.
Yeah. So we're moving the fuck along with what's gonna happen because this is become garbage.
Does anybody here play Magic the Gathering?
No.
No, for
I'm
real.
gonna keep asking.
So North Korea launched an ICBM in
play really
Japan
competitively.
Sea. What do you guys think should be the military option or option after that?
Right. So here's how this works. Biden
We
was
should grow
briefed
some
on this
balls
and
and
asked
invade
about it.
fucking
Can I
China.
please speak? So Biden was briefed on this and was asked about it, and his response, if I could quote, would be, "Yeah, what else is new?" And then moved on, and everybody's wondering if he was senile or what the fuck, because yeah, this is typically not tolerated or some kind of response.
The fuck?
He said, yeah,
I mean, it's a pretty good response.
No, it's not.
It's a pretty good response. Actually.
What more do you want? Like, it is as good a response that should, like, everybody else, like, decides to give North Korea attention just because of the fact that, like, there's political games to be played, but, like, making North Korea seem like a really big threat. But in reality, they aren't.
Man, if Donald Trump said this shit, know you'd be.
No. Dude,
I'd be like, hey.
Yo, give me a second.
Donald Trump literally escalated it. I critiqued him for escalating it. I know what my position was.
If he said what else is new, people would be like, man, this guy doesn't understand.
You know why we have to guess what Trump would do? Because under Trump, they didn't launch fucking missiles. Because they tried that early and then stopped that.
Come on, dude. You can hear me trying to talk, dude.
Pickle, shut the fuck up. I haven't talked. You do all the talking, so you can't tell me that. You can't tell me you want to talk every time I fucking try to talk.
I'm talking and let other people talk.
Like, holy shit. You can't say, come on, dude. You're trying to talk. You're trying to talk for the first time, and I've talked 3 times since the last time you talked. But you have to let me talk a 4th time because otherwise you're being unreasonable. No, Pickle. How about you cede the floor How about you cede the floor once in a while when I haven't spoken, when you've spoken 3 to 4 times and I haven't spoken once since then. So learn how to fucking take turns, stop being fucking autistic, and learn social cues, Pickle. This is why we can't have reasonable conversations with you in the room because you'll literally just take the opportunity.
I have a solution for the both of you. How about both of you let someone else speak?
I love that.
Instead of one of you two.
Riddle's turn now? Okay, got it.
I wasn't even talking, you cocksucker.
Doesn't matter.
Doesn't matter.
Thank goodness for that, let's be honest.
Man, no. So here's the thing. In terms of what he said, I actually don't really have too much issue with it. I just think had Donald Trump said it, the media would have been like, like lost their fucking minds. But I don't know. If the Japanese are not losing their shit, then who cares?
To be honest here, I don't think any, like, the media's response was at that time when my response was, at least from what I can recall, very clearly that Trump's escalating the situation, and, like, also is, like, after escalating it, seemingly, like, giving legitimacy to an authoritarian regime. That we otherwise shouldn't have.
Wrong. Trump didn't escalate it.
That was the critique that
don't interrupt.
Now, if Trump just
don't interrupt.
Oh, nigga, shut up. That's literally how you sound. How can you notice how the voice, the imitation you attempted to do, literally was your voice?
You notice how you don't speak complete sentences because you're an illiterate fucking monkey.
Alright. Fucking hell. Alright.
Wrap it up, my
Go
nigga.
on with your statement. Don't
15
diverge.
seconds.
The response in this case would have been if he just said, alright, what the fuck's new? North Korea. Would have been like, wow, Donald Trump said this thing. Maybe some people would have been inconsistent, but, like, I feel as if the entire media critique of him was because he proceeded to go to Singapore and, like, suck his cock.
Donald Trump did not escalate the situation. What he actually
So
it's because you don't love cock.
And he worked out a deal. I love how everybody tells me, "Hey, you gotta be quiet." And then when I'm talking, everybody agrees. You guys have such a double standard. So now, you're everyone who talks over me is getting muted.
Man, just talk, man. It's not that.
Okay, you're muted.
Okay, well, that bitch has me muted.
My name is Biggs, and I'm
muted? Okay, Reason, you're muted. Who else wants to get muted? So the point is that in regards to this, Bambi is muted. Good.
This is the reason why I hate it.
And Yiddle's muted. So the point is in regards to this, when early on in Trump's administration they tried this, and what he ended up doing is he
I thought you had him muted. I thought you had him muted, dude.
Zan is muted. So what he ended up doing is talking to them and basically de-escalating the situation. He didn't increase it, but he also didn't dismiss it, and they stopped doing these tests for the rest of the fucking administration's term. So it's kind of funny how under Biden, almost
is anyone else talking?
We're back and start having more hostile actions once again. This is always dangerous for Japan, and they always get upset about it.
I'm like 2% or something.
Really? Now's the we're gonna let him finish moment? Really, guys? Really?
That's not diplomacy. We're not really for you. And you say, hey, I really appreciate it.
Anyways, yo, I tried to get into Magic the Gathering, but I just couldn't.
I already did.
Okay, are you done yet, nigga? Yo,
because there's so many. There's just so much more rules to follow.
I think Atheist is done.
Rena teaches you in like
so just to clarify, I don't see for as to why. Right, it's unreasonable to presume that like the media attention given to Trump was because he was sucking the dick of a dictator. That was actually a common critique of Trump by the media. So
when every other president does this, it's fine.
Hey, I'm not talking to you. I'm talking to AK. I'm talking to you, AK, pussy.
You call me a pussy.
Well, if AK is not gonna respond, then someone else.
You couldn't even get pussy.
There's literally nothing wrong with knocking.
But do you know that
you can get pussy for a prostitute?
No, I can't.
Not you.
So shameful. I'm sorry.
No, not you, Bambi.
I got hoes under me right now giving me free bags. Fuck you mean, nigga?
Canadian
Nigga, I got hoes popping in just to give me a couple things. Y'all niggas don't know what a Yo, who is this retard? Is there somebody out to mute? Yo, what's your name? Speak up, speak up.
His name is Yiddle.
Not talking.
No one takes you serious.
Yo,
talking to you.
Alright, muted. Done. Yo, who is the other nigga who's talking again?
Yo, Atheist, I got a question for you.
POV, your name is Yiddle, and you're fucking retarded.
Atheist, I got a question.
Everybody on camera is a retard.
Plus your
Yo, what do you feel about the shit going on with the gun legislation they're trying to get passed? How do you feel about that?
I didn't look at it. What is it? What's the general policy?
Wait, hold on.
What are your progressive on, man?
Are you saying
CGI, what's the basic policy of
I can't say because people are interrupting.
You can't say ask.
Bro, come on. So, what's it called? Advocating for either pass some type of weapons ban with some high capacity magazines, or they're looking at some type of EO option. Private policy to executive.
Can I add to that?
I don't like executive order options very much, but that's just a strategy. So I don't know if it's just magazines.
How many do you own a firearm, sir?
No.
No? So then, like, why would you care?
I have access to them, and I can go
I mean, yeah, you have access to them, but like, what would really change about your life if this legislation were to be passed?
It would, like I said, I didn't look at it, so it depends what's all in it. But let's say that I can't carry as big of magazines when I go hunting, or when I go when I go to the range, or whatever.
With magazines, especially.
At higher capacities, I don't know.
It's just high capacity magazine.
Like maybe I don't know, maybe you're
Yeah,
fucking,
but what's
like,
a high capacity magazine? What? How many is there?
Typically, I think I would imagine like all these things would have like rather strict.
Can you just quiet and let someone who actually knows answer?
Oh, okay. Does anybody know what the specific piece of this legislation is that atheist wants?
It's not. It's not.
Fair journeyman here. This is shit's about to go down. I feel.
Oh, nobody does. Oh, okay.
Is it 15 rounds? Is that what it is?
Wait, I'll tell you. I'll tell you.
More than 15 rounds.
There's no. This was like a directive from like Biden saying that hey, I want Congress to come up with some type of legislation that aims at high and like ARs. But he said they talked today. News came out today that they're looking at options where they can enact some type of executive order policy for sure.
Well, yeah, they're gonna push the boundaries probably, but I don't think they're gonna make much of it.
Generally speaking, I don't like too big of limitations on the magazine. I can understand like not allowing like 100 round drum or something like that. But if you're talking about like, let's say someone has like 20 rounds or something, I think that's.
What about the average mag on these types of weapons is 30.
Exactly, 30 rounds are standard.
Yeah, but like a 100 round.
Yeah, but what about a banana clip though?
Yeah, what about like a 100 round? Yeah, like a 100 round drum. Like.
That's not even see the point.
That's obvious. Already, I'm pretty sure banned.
So first of all, there is a big difference in pistols and stuff. They use the rounds are much lower, so I don't know how it would affect pistols, but yeah, in terms of like you know,
but how does this answer my question about how it would affect your daily life, bro?
Can you just shut up, kiddo? Holy shit!
My nigga, but like,
I'm in the middle of talking.
The legislation must affect your daily
When you
life.
cut in, it's not even to be productive. It's just to be to like fucking spurred. So what I would say is that you know, most people don't go around carrying a 100 round drum anyways. But like, I don't
Where do you think this year's Yu-Gi-Oh! World Tournament's gonna be?
Canada did speak.
I mean, I don't know why you guys are so passive aggressive. You're literally like middle school girls. Like, this is what they do. It's like, oh, I don't like it. So every time he speaks, I'm going to talk over him. And I know the mods don't like him, so they won't act. So I'm just going to continue doing it, and I'm going to take the whole room down just because I don't like someone. It's like, get over the fact that you don't like me, and stop like taking down the whole fucking conversation. Just because out of a personal grudge. Like, okay, Yiddle, you're muted, and now I won't unmute.
Go to your roommate.
To give you leeway.
That is a blessing.
And so I will start muting anybody and keep them muted for the rest of the night. Okay, CGI, you're muted for the rest of the night. Bambi is muted for the rest of the night. BBC is muted for the rest of the night. Cool.
Alright, so atheist.
Dude, why don't you just start your own server?
Unmute people.
Bro, I will come to your server, my nigga. I swear to God, no cap. I'll come to your server, bro.
So why is that I get muted when they're
because you're muting people? That's not allowed.
Yes, it is. Okay, what's not allowed is over talking. And what's actually not allowed is over talking. I'm not over talking. So why don't you actually mute the people who are breaking the rules instead of muting the person who is not? Silence. Anybody else? Good.
Jesus Christ.
So to finish what I was saying before I was rudely interrupted, given the fact that I was asked the fucking question specifically, why reasons muted? Okay. So so the Victor's muted. Alright. So the fact is yeah.
So now that he has everyone muted,
something slight, but nothing.
Seriously, where's this year's Yu-Gi-Oh! World Tournament going to be held at? I think last was held.
States really have mag restrictions, like California and stuff. It's forget what the number actually is, but it's
under 15.
It's under 15. Yeah, which that's pretty low because like the standard for like an AR is 30 round mag.
30 round, but it's called, state has their own thing. So
right. Wouldn't really affect pistols that much either. I know you brought that up. Usually pistols for like a full sized pistols, like if it's 9mm, it'll be like 18, 20 round mag or clip, whatever.
Yeah, I'm not for that. That's like way too limiting, in my opinion.
I agree. Maybe someone could make an argument for something over 30 rounds or something like that, but under 30, it seems ridiculous.
It's like you go to the gun range and like have to fucking reload every 10 seconds, and plus magazines aren't fucking cheap. So if you have to like load up all these magazines, now you have to take like twice as many magazines because they only hold half as much, and like you're gonna have to pay like $100 just a magazine to go to a gun range.
You can load your magazines at the range. Once they go empty, you can put more bullets in them.
Yeah, that takes a lot of time though.
Yeah, but you get a magazine loader, like a tool where it helps you do it quicker. Or you could get stripper clips, which you press down into the magazine. It's instant.
So like the people around me that go to gun ranges, they don't like to do all that shit at the range, and then you have to bring the ammo and all that. They just want to load it at home. They bring what they want to shoot to the range, and then they shoot. The clip's empty, and then when it's empty, they're done.
Yeah, but realistically, they could use stripper clips, which are basically these. It's like a little. I don't know how to explain it. It's like a strip with each bullet on the strip, and you slam it down into the magazine, and then the strip comes off. You don't have to load each bullet one by one. You could do that, but it's still an extra step in preparation. So, yeah, it's unnecessary.
Yeah, I'm completely lost at what the mods want me to do, though, in this situation. It's like... They're clearly just over talking me. I'm doing nothing and like AK just allows that and then mutes me. Like, what does he want me to fucking do?
I think Yiddle's the most disruptive by far. I don't know how he gets away with it, but he does. He's very rude and just is like a bully and just talks over people. No one does anything about it.
It's unfortunate because there's like a black privilege that has started on this server, and it's like they won't address it in a lot of the black mods and some of the white black ally mods like Ned. They just like treat the black users on here completely different than they treat non-black users,
and they gang up too.
Yeah, it's fucking ridiculous. Like Tyree I think is actually fair. So he's one of the fair black mods, but like AK what's his AK is one of them that goes around and like fucking won't mute Yiddle like at all. Won't mute CGI at all. Why? Because they're both black.
Yeah, earlier we had the situation where it was literally Pickle, CGI, AK, and Yiddle all like teaming up earlier. I noticed it. And that tends to happen a lot, and it's fucking annoying. There's nothing you can do when that happens. You'll not even be able to speak when that happens. Yeah, it's terrible.
And it's the thing is like, so this is actually happening in society, not just on the server. And it's like, see, white people don't have like this in-group bias in the same way, not in terms of race. So like, we don't go around generally like saying, oh hey, here's all the white people, I'm gonna like try to promote them. But black people do this all the fucking time, and it's like actually a part of like black culture, and it's they see them each other as like a single group and like a brotherhood, and so they'll go to like black-owned businesses and try to buy shit specifically from there. They'll like avoid like white businesses. They'll like.
They'll gatekeep nigga. They'll call each other niggas. And then
do the same, but in reverse. I mean, go to white-owned businesses. Associate with white people in communities.
No, I don't want to do that though.
That's contradictory to his values. He wants everyone to be treated.
I mean, that's fair.
So
like
just for the record, that kind of affinity exists in all groups. It's just more suppressed publicly because of historical reasons. But yeah, they're like there's two kind of categories. There's people that have higher in-group affinity, and then there's a separate. So you prefer people that are more like you. Everyone has that to some extent, and then there's a second dimension that usually is a little bit more caustic. People who have a higher out-group hostility. So
who is like
and
you?
Those people are more actively hostile towards outsiders, and that's people that are more on the native side. Like if you look at like the Trump supporters, it was kind of split there, but the rhetoric that he had about the Mexicans, they're not sitting their best, they're drug addicts.
But that was like
it kind of sorted the people that were like they gravitated towards that. And then there was an interesting study. Like they tested a bunch of people to see what their attitudes were towards like a policy like housing assistance, and they showed these different groups of people, a black face and a white face, and the conservatives were a little bit more their opinion dropped more than the liberals when they saw a black face. But even if you break it down even more than that, the biggest Trump supporters, which makes sense because it kind of activated more of the nativist faction within the Republican Party, they had the biggest drop when they saw the black face versus the white face. But the liberals, on more of the Democratic side, it didn't really matter whether they showed a black face or a white face. So
I don't think that's I think you're jumping to conclusions. Look, dude, we don't just want to be preached to, man. You gotta, like, you don't want to just be preached
the liberals, but like most black conservatives.
I'm gonna leave if you don't wrap it up. So you have like 5
That's
seconds.
My main point. That's just, but that's the dynamic.
So the point is that like when it drops, that doesn't mean it's just because of in-group bias. Like that could mean that like, hey, black people, generally speaking, have a culture that is like contradictory to my values, and they, generally speaking, like are more in favor of their group, which I'm not a part of, so they're going to, generally speaking, treat me worse than a white person. And so that's not like, hey, I'm like going to like drop this white person less because I have an in-group bias. And so so I think you're jumping to the wrong conclusions there. The point, most white people don't have a white in-group bias, or not much of one, like because like they don't have white identity. They have they have ethnic identity.
I want you to go look something up. OkCupid data about. Okay, don't look it up. Just stick your head in the sand. If anybody else is curious about this, because it's actually really interesting. You're talking about like dating preferences about race and ethnicity, and go look, and you'll see different. Not all groups are as preferred by others, but you'll see the attitudes, and they ask questions like, do you prefer dating within your race and outside your race? The data is there. So if you want to look at
that's a lot different.
That's part of the same mental attitude.
No, it's not. Being physically attracted to someone is a lot different than being physically attracted to someone is a lot different than how you treat people in society.
It's just gamble. I have to disagree, man, because like, for example, a lot of them will like say, for example, like white women, but they don't by any means treat them better than like some of their own race. Usually, it's like this in-group preference is still relevant. It's like just because they're attracted doesn't mean that they view them as like equals or something.
I'll back you up a little bit. Characteristics on average more attractive.
Yeah, because I'm a mixed black guy. I have a lot of black relatives, and growing up, I have plenty of relatives that if there was a movie that had lots of black actors, they were more likely to go to that, and that's an example of higher in-group affinity. And there's plenty of examples of that. In my case, it's almost like it's negative. I feel like I'm less likely to based on the race of the actor. It's not across the whole race. It just depends on the psychology of the person, right? So it's not some blanket thing. If you have a higher in-group preference or a higher out-group hostility, it's going to manifest itself in different ways. But in the United States, the reason you see less of a social taboo against black people having like more black solidarity versus white people. It's purely because of the history. I think that's the obvious answer because of it.
Yo, are you arguing like some guy who's racist, honestly? I just came out of nowhere. I'm actually like, I'm actually seriously, who you arguing with?
So it's not just because of race.
It's atheist, okay. Oh my god, that makes a lot of sense.
So I'm just gonna be a Phil. So.
I love Phil, this is hilarious.
It's not just because of race, because the amount of in-group preference has changed over time, and it's, I don't have the data on it, but it seems that recently, because of progressivism, that black in-group preference has like grown a lot, and especially because by declaring yourself black, you can gain like points and gain stuff and power. You know, progressivism, so because of oppression Olympics, basically.
It's clearly like it lacks actual intellectual like.
I mean, if we look at voting, isn't that white people vote like 50-50, black people vote.
I don't think you want me to talk over him, but I think it's a waste of your time to listen to him.
By the way, do you have? I have a theory on that. I don't know if you. Maybe nobody's curious about it. Again, like I said, most black conservatives vote for Democrats, right? So why is it so sorted? There's a similar amount of black conservatives, Asian conservatives, Hispanic, Latino conservatives. It's not as lopsided in those other groups, but you still see this pattern. And I think the reason for that is if you're going to be more, and conservatives tend to they have a sameness bias. They prefer people that are a little bit more like them. So if you have that attitude, if you're the larger population and the dominant group, you're better able to enforce those sameness biases. If you're a minority population, you can't do that. So you're better off going with the people that's not as openly hostile to you. That's in terms of the coalition.
Samuel,
everybody's a minority, right? Like as an I say often, like as an atheist, I'm more of a minority, or I'm about this. It depends what you say. Like as an identifying atheist, I'm more of a minority than black people, and in fact, I'm like one of the biggest minorities of any racial group.
Hey, Samuel, can I just answer your question 1 second? Do you know why
atheists don't like all vote the same way?
Samuel, do you know why conservatives, in particular other ethnic groups, feel alienated by the Conservative Party? Do you want to know that answer?
Bill is talking.
It's mainly because the parties don't seem to want to pretend to these minority groups. Simple as that. They don't see a point to do that. They don't see it as a concentrated base. They don't see it as
actually completely untrue. So in this last election alone, I believe the Conservative Party garnered more votes in every racial category except white people.
They garnered more votes, but did they get a majority compared to other parties? I don't think so. They still have a long way.
Can I give you another example? It's a little bit more neutral. I want you to think of some prominent Indian American conservatives, because there's actually a lot. There's Nikki Haley. There was Bobby Jindal. There is Dinesh D'Souza, the conspiracy guy. There's Ramesh Paniro. He's like a National Review guy. I don't know if he's still with them. There's a lot of, again, prominent Indian American conservatives. Every single one of those, or there's like another guy, Ajit Pai. I think almost all of them. Amal Tabar was one of the conservatives. Every single one of them is Christian or Catholic. As non-Christian, converted.
Tulsi Gabbard.
Tulsi Gabbard's the one exception. The one exception. If you look at the Indian American population on the Democratic side, it's much more varied. This is what I'm talking about. There's a greater sameness bias. Right? between the two parties. You know, I mean, it's in some ways race is superficial, but it's almost like it's the first thing people see. It's like strike one. I'm like, if you prove that you're part of the group, oh, you're Christian, you're like, oh, I feel more safe. I feel safe, right? Yeah. This is the dynamic. And if you get close enough and people say that you're not a threat, but that's the issue. It's a different dynamic with conservative and liberal.
So religion's a little different because with religion, you like it actually has an impact on the issues, but race is like has a much less impact based on parties.
The issue that is wrong with your point, then, I'm not saying your point is wrong. I'm literally trying to make a similar point, but referring to pandering. Pandering in some way does mean getting elected officials to have similar backgrounds to their voters. Obviously. But you have to point out it's very obviously a lot of African Americans who are conservative are also Catholic, and they still don't vote with conservative values because they still feel alienated. Because a lot of the time, when it comes to actually voting for constituents, who are mostly the candidates for the Conservative Party? Who do you see is on the ballot? Who do you see you're voting for most of the time?
It's mostly white.
Yeah, it should be fucking obvious. So why do you make her?
So your argument is that if there were more black conservative faces, there would be a higher. I think there might be more of that. There might be more of that. But it's like a chicken and an egg problem. Why aren't there more? Like why do people feel so alienated, right?
Well, okay.
In the first place, why did it flip? Right? It seems like the parties flipped. It used to be the Republican Party that was more popular. It shifted around the New Deal.
It really kind of occurred before then, when the Republicans became less of populist and not even less of more. Okay, it's kind of straightforward to explain it, but basically after Teddy Roosevelt, of course, after that, it was kind of the end of Republicans being kind of anti-corporatist. They became more in the business's pockets, actually, which is very interesting, which led to Ted Cruz. I'm going to say Ted Cruz by accident. Oh my fucking god. Teddy Roosevelt challenging the Republican nominee, which led to a split of the vote. We already know that entire ship has, like the Woodrow Wilson being the presidency. But basically, that was the split that led to the end of the Republican Party being considered a populist or a liberal party, basically, in its own eyes. To put it simply, that's what occurred. It's kind of simple and straightforward. By the alienating Teddy Roosevelt, who wasn't even that liberal, but showed liberal tendencies in his policy. You would consider his challenging anti-corporatist pretty obvious. That completely goes separate from the issue. When referring to particularly issues when it comes to reform minority communities, those who would mostly implement them over the decades was mostly both parties, but those who seem to really pander towards the idea of trying to of minority communities, what you're referring to, who are at the same time conservative, is that to them it's weird. They didn't feel like conservatives attracted them enough. Simple as that.
You New Yorkers have such a weird speech pattern, dude. Have you?
Thank you so much. I know. It's really weird, honestly. But thank you. No, it's just simple.
I think in terms of like the black population started shifting towards the Democratic Party a little bit earlier. I think most of that was because of economic populism.
Ronald Reagan, Mike's backwards.
Not yet.
But later on, I'll give you this is a good test to see if people are aware, especially when you like. One of the reasons I despise someone like Dinesh D'Souza is someone like him. He knows better, and he still makes this argument that the modern Democratic Party are the real racists because of whatever reason. If you look at, and because like the 1964 Civil Rights Bill, more Republicans voted in favor of that Civil Rights Bill than Democrats, and some of the conservatives will use that as a talking point to say it was the Democrats that were the racists, the Republicans were the ones that were pro civil rights and all this stuff.
Those are the Dixie
but if you break it exactly, if you break it down by region, almost every single Democrat and Republican in the northern states and the non-Confederate states voted in favor of the Civil Rights Bill. Almost every single Democrat and Republican that were in the basically the Confederate states in the South voted against the civil rights bill. It had virtually nothing to do with party. It was a regional dynamic.
So, Samuel, I'm sorry interrupting you, but I do want to point out when it became the Republican Party and that flip that led to their party becoming a concentration in the South, which in some way came the inheritance. I don't want to say they're Dixiecrats, but they have clear influence. I can bring up Ted Cruz and his aspirations towards Dixiecrats in his own language, and also some Republicans saying they felt associated with the Democrat Party, including Ronald Reagan, because they felt like that party was not the same. Which I don't want to say that they were. How do I word this correctly? I'm not going to say they're racist, but we have heard about the tapes involving Nixon and Reagan and their language towards African Americans.
They were racist. Like, come on. Dude.
Yeah. So it's pretty straightforward. These Republicans who then switched to the Republican Party felt disassociated with the Democrat Party because they were no longer a Dixiecrat party. That was their view.
I agree.
Yeah.
And by the way, the last point I make, and then I'll shut up. I know a lot of people think that the Democrats pander to minorities and black people, and I think plenty of that is true. But I also think that I think the dangers of pandering and identity politics among the Democratic coalition is extremely weak and anemic. And the reason is black people make up 13% of the population of the United States. It's a higher percentage of the Democratic Party. But there are limits of how much pandering to just the black vote or just the Latino vote or just the Asian vote or just the whatever vote. The Democratic coalition is more of a mix of different groups. So it's like you run into these firewalls in terms of identitarian politics. It's structural. On the right, because it's more sane, it's more Christian, it's more white, and there's nothing wrong with being white. But there's more. The danger of identity politics is greater. You're more likely to shut out outsiders. When they try to target like voting, and they disproportionately target groups that are more minority, or they look at a list of names, and they hurt white voters too. So they strip some of those people off the names. But if it strips more black people off the rolls, it's still a win. Like these little indirect targeting modes like that. So that is a bigger danger when you have a larger block. And again, when people talk about identity politics, the original identity politics in the United States was basically white identity politics, right? So it's not just either or. Like it's not the danger isn't so like again. I get there's pandering on the Democratic side, but that's not the big danger. Like the way for Democrats to win, and like I'm a liberal, I'm a progressive, I was a Yang guy. It's to be more universalist. I actually think stuff like Black Lives Matter is a fine statement. But when someone said like all lives matter and people shouted it down, that was a mistake. They should have said, of course.
Not yet.
But they should have counted like that we're failing to live up to that standard.
Hey, how do you know it's a mistake?
People should say Black Lives Matter too. They should put that addendum to make it more explicit.
How do you know it's a mistake?
What's a mistake?
Could I?
You said responding to all lives matter. That is a mistake.
Oh yeah, the thing I think is a mistake is I think it would be helpful to the movement to especially for people that are more focused on their own in group. Like when they hear Black Lives Matter, what's that got to do with me? Blah blah.
Stop, pause, bro, pause.
Wait, let the white man explain it to you.
Okay, you're going down. Okay, the question is if that reaction is what BLM's trying to solve, you can't just say that reaction isn't the point, because the reaction is the point. You need to be able to analyze in society how people react to certain types of civil rights movements. It's a critical part of analyzing the depth of the civil rights problem.
Hey, Samuel, I'm just going to explain that simply. There's a reason they're saying all lives matter. They're trying. No, I'm trying to explain where it's fucking like not this contextual bullcrap. It's like direct and straightforward, basically. Bullcrap? There's an intent to them saying all lives matter. It's to contradict the idea of BLM.
We're aware of this, dude. The idea is
that's the intent.
Feed into it by excluding groups of people. So if the issue is
it's not excluding groups of people.
How is it excluding?
Highlight that particular group. Can you please let me speak? You're supposed to highlight. Can I please speak? It's supposed to highlight police corruption and police abuse, right? So everybody's facing consequences for that. So get everybody under an umbrella, right? Then we can start zooming in the umbrella and focusing on a particular.
What if there are specific issues? Just wait, man. What if there are specific issues that particular ethnicities target? For example, just wait, man. Like, for example,
you're gonna pretend like
Jesus Christ, bro. Can I finish?
Shut up. I said you first get the
Can I finish?
on the small
Oh my God.
What are you fighting? It's a standard text.
Just turn him down. It's the same every night. It's so weird.
Like, bro, can I finish? Please, I literally didn't get like a sentence out of it. Okay, so the point here is, like, obviously, racism, for example, it's like everybody. Alright, now, the types of racism that will impact Jewish people is different from that of black people. So, say you have the ADL, they... What do you mean?
No need to explain this to me. It's covered in the framing I gave. So if you want to sit here and pretend like it isn't,
no, it's not.
You can go right ahead, but I'm not listening to you. I turn your volume down so you cut that shit
I
off.
don't care. I do not.
So anyway, now that Pickle's done derailing, can we go back to Samuel's point?
Not yet.
Yeah. What are we talking about? And Samuel, please don't let these people waste your time trying to explain elementary shit to you when you already understand it. Just tell them to fuck off.
Okay. When you make, okay, this is the question. The question I asked you, Samuel, the question I asked, shut the fuck up. The question I asked you was, why do you think it's your analysis of it being the right response or the wrong response is accurate? What are you using to measure whether or not it's accurate? Because BLM has gotten a lot more popular over the last 5 years.
I agree.
So again, a white man can explain this to you because you clearly don't get it.
Sociology, yes. Math better than energy.
The reason I think it was a tactical mistake in the past, or like boo when someone said all lives matter. The reason I say the better response would have been to say, of course, and we're failing to live up to that standard, is you want to call people's bluff. A lot of people, when they see certain groups, it's like they think it's not part of their in-group, so you want to universalize that struggle. And like, you should call out things like the case of Daniel Shaver, which is the white guy. You want to universalize.
Nobody failed to do this. Nobody in BLM defended this.
This is factually incorrect. BLM is all over that.
For some people, you need to pull out a crayon box.
Stop stacking arguments on top of
That's
them.
the point of this.
Okay, one point at a time.
People just want to be right.
But this isn't just rhetoric.
Major point. You don't have to explain it to them.
Guys, okay, I just want to simply say one thing. It's gonna be straightforward.
No, like people
White people are gonna like co-opt black people's movements for their own fucking political agendas, and then they get pissed off when we call them out for it, dude.
Oh, shut up. You don't represent the average black person at all.
Dude, this isn't even a question of whether or not the person talking is black or not black. The point is there is empirical data about support for BLM, right? So this runs against the claim that... Okay, if you're claiming that fucking shit, if you're making claims about tactical strategy for political movements, right? Empirical data is required.
Okay, how do you assess a hypothetical that never occurred for you to collect this stupid ass fucking?
It wasn't a hypothetical.
What hypothetical? What's the hypothetical here?
The hypothetical he was voicing that you just dismissed for some fucking reason, because you just thought it was wrong on the surface.
What's the hypothetical?
BLM. Yeah, so the hypothetical is BLM could have easily said to these people, yes, all I had and called their bluff. That would have been the more intelligent move. It would have exposed them even further if they actually had bias. But when you don't do that, you actually exclude these groups. How can you do an empirical
almost like no white lives don't matter?
Never occurred?
If you want to answer your question, I'll take the point that let's say that support for BLM, I'm sure that that's probably true. To test your claim, we have to run the clock back and see if people were explicit about this other message, if it would have improved at an even faster rate. That's what
I agree. That's my point. I agree with you that in the counterfactual situation where BLM appeared to be more inclusive, it would probably have a
There's an opportunity cost there by not doing so. But the point is,
like, I'll put this in the other direction too. When I hear people say police lives matter, to me, or blue lives matter, to me, that's a case of people that are, that's a case of people treating police officers as more of their in group. So you prioritize the safety of a police officer over, say, someone that gets stopped, and in many cases, someone gets killed that shouldn't have gotten killed, right? We have a higher standard of use of force in the military than certain police officers.
No. Okay, it's not bad faith. He's just keeps going. The problem is like things like Blue Lives Matter. They are direct opposition movements to BLM. Right, they are reactions to that movement and saying no. We're maintaining the status quo.
No, all lives matter, yeah, but BLM or what's it? Blue lives matter? Not.
No, because when I hear Blue Lives Matter, like when I hear Black Lives Matter, I think the thing that
Black
people
supremacy?
need to like the crayon drawing is to make it more clear to people is Black Lives Matter 2. When I hear Blue Lives Matter, I think the undercurrent is Blue Lives Matter more. The safety of a police officer is prioritized more than the safety of the person that they're stopping. Like if a police officer changed the rules of engagement and their increase of dying increased by 5%.
So you agree that Black lives are worth less?
But there was a drop in 40% of killing of people that weren't actually a threat. Isn't that a net gain? But if you prioritize only police lives, then you don't actually care about all lives. You care. That's a cultural problem.
Samuel, can I please answer your just being straightforward on this? People who support Blue Lives Matter don't really care about the police, honestly. They just want to challenge another movement, basically. And I can tell you one thing, if anyone who's a part of Blue Lives Matter doesn't answer how bad actual depression rates and mental issues are in the police force, I mean, that really fucking shows they don't care about Blue Lives Matter. They just want to challenge BLM, okay? It's just simple as that.
There were a lot of Blue Lives Matter people at January 6th who, like, killed some cops.
Yeah, I mean, like,
the movement's obviously connected, but the problem is like for a lot of people,
businesses like what the fuck?
Fucking A. For a lot of people, Blue Lives Matter is just a political connection to their identity. They're not even processing it in terms of like opposition to BLM.
That thing that claim you made where the Blue Lives Matter dudes that kill cops, that's like so fucking shit. It's like,
dude,
I think they say BLM people burn down black-owned businesses. Like, what the fuck? Like, that doesn't mean shit. I'm not saying that BLM doesn't actually support BLM if those people killed black people or anything like that. Like, no.
It's just ridiculous to like sit down here and expect every single movement, alright, to be essentially the all-encompassing upholders of justice when like justice isn't being equally applied or equally being unapplied to everybody.
Look, I agree with that. These kind of movements are messy, and it's impossible to use every individual action and reaction. So I get that.
Like, this is the problem. We've had movements like these before, and it's had this similar fucking reaction. Usually there are small movements, even the civil rights movement. That was fucking challenged. There were same fuckers who were saying the same type of bullcrap.
Wait. People still believe that MLK, dude, when he gave that like famous speech that everyone now thinks dude, a third of America thought the FBI should like pull him in and like fucking beat him, dude. What do you mean?
That's what my point is, actually. That's what
Wait, you didn't know about that? You didn't know like that the FBI had him like on their wanted list and shit?
Oh no, but you said 1/3. That's pretty.
I can't.
Yeah, like a huge
Can y'all
portion of
pause?
Americans.
I need a citation for that.
Okay, what are you asking for? What are you asking for?
What was their biggest threat to America at the time? So I don't know.
About that the FBI wanted, people wanted like the FBI to like stop MLK.
No, you said
they supported the FBI like wiretapping him, following him around.
These are two different things.
1/3.
So doing its job in the population.
Oppose is a movement. Did you not know that?
Yeah, can I say one thing? Like, this is like this type of shit that we see currently against like these movements.
They're historical. They're repeated. This happens before. Like
why we're talking about MLK, dude.
Yep. And literally what I bring up is that because of the creation of BLM, we are seeing other movements formulate out of it, just like how the civil rights movement led to other movements formulating out of them as well in other minority groups who felt disenfranchised during their period in the 1960s and 70s. We've heard of several movements, those who were Native American, Asian community, etc. Like they had those movements even in the 1970s because they came off the momentum of the civil rights movement. We understand that, right? So this same repetitiveness of challenging these movements are idiotic. We've seen this happen before. It's not original. Like this is expected to happen basically at this point because you're going to have people who have intrinsic biases who they aren't racist, but they're taught this way to challenge movements. Basically, they're taught this way to be resistant against change, against actual.
I remember that one class.
Like, let's be fucking real here. Basically, people are taught to not be used to change. Basically,
we get it, buddy.
Damn, monologue much.
Thank you. I know.
All right, so Vinny, did you not know that MLK was extremely unpopular?
No, I never said that.
I'm just checking. I didn't say you said it. I'm asking.
My bad. Yeah, like people didn't like MLK. His damn house got bombed. I mean, like.
I just wanted to make sure. A lot of people don't appreciate like how much America despises Vinny.
Or even realize it, to be honest. It's most
People didn't like James Baldwin, and James Baldwin just wrote books, bro. I mean, like, to be honest,
MLK, I don't think the average American even knows who James Baldwin is.
I don't even know who Allen is, honestly.
MLK is like a fucking founding father level figure.
Well, it's kind of a difference though between MLK because MLK was the biggest threat to America at the time, and the FBI was just doing its job by putting out so much propaganda against him. I mean, like,
that's true.
That's just how it works. But whenever we're talking about a systematic problem, then yeah, the FBI shouldn't be able to do that. Although they were at the time just doing their job. So I mean,
real question: do you think the FBI assassinated him?
Okay.
Well, no, you don't criticize. You don't criticize the employees. You criticize the people that gave them the orders.
But I just want to ask, how is right now,
dude? I unironically love James Baldwin. Like, of course I would give all the empathy to the people and take it all away from the system if I could. So that argument is so dumb. The system is what produces them. So what the fuck? Like this whole
what?
What are you talking about?
Are you okay? Are you giving a critique to? Are you giving a critique to? I'm confused. Are you giving a critique to the?
You have the opposite of what he was implying.
Okay, well I thought he was giving the Hitler argument.
The Hitler?
What?
Yes, I thought he was giving the Hitler argument, just doing those orders, everything.
No, he's saying the FBI doing their quote-unquote job.
That was what I said.
And I know. Jesus fucking Christ.
Who are you saying? Who's saying?
Silent retard.
Oh my you have to hold people accountable, or else that's the whole point of that's how you take
people
down
think like that, so of course I thought that's what he was saying. This guy thinks like that.
The other dude, okay. I thought he thought like that because I have such a low opinion of him. Okay, cool. So now that we agree that I'm not advocating for Hitler or some weird shit, we're all aware, right, that like when a boss tells an employee to do something and then that employee does it, we don't go like, oh my god, employee, you did something bad when you were told to do so by your
They were talking about the system. That's why whenever you said that, I was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Because it was so out of line. It's such a weird conversation.
But how do you not hold the employee accountable?
That's what I'm saying, because Strawberry even thinks like that. So of course that's exactly my brain would go.
They break the law, you punish them. But the point is the structure of the law back then was in favor of opposing people like MLK, right? I don't know if y'all know, but the CIA was kind of famous for toppling big, countries all over the world back in this day.
They killed a bunch of black leaders.
And let's point out, the remnants are still in our society, basically, culturally, literally. People
we call them fascists.
They undoubtedly still believe in this ideology and these beliefs, basically.
No, but that type of thinking, I was just doing my job. Like that seems so dismissive.
No, it's beyond just them doing their jobs. It's
What? You just said facts.
What we're referring to in particular is that people who culturally and basically they believe in that they do not want change, basically. It's a structural system that they are so dependent on.
It's the system that produces them. I mean, like, if they believe that way, it's because they were produced.
They were produced that way, literally. Yes.
You can't fault them for being produced by the system that created them. You have to fault the system. That's how it works.
Of course.
That's not gonna stop the system from existing. You gotta hold at least the individual accountable. And then...
Yeah, that's also the thing as well. Yeah.
It's a point of malintent in a situation where they were doing something that's inherently against morality versus doing something that they thought was just their job, so that they could provide for the people.
This is beyond.
Yeah, that's what malintent.
Job. There are people who intrinsically did believe in that MLK was bad in their eyes, basically,
because they were propagandized to think that. Yeah.
Yes, they were.
MLK and those beliefs. He was a neo-Marxist that was trying to enact communism in the United States.
That's such fucking cringe right there. So literally.
What if
there's these intrinsic values that were held by these people are still occurring today. They are still remnants, obviously. There are still those who challenge any type of move because they feel like it's too much of a change for them personally. Like, that makes a logical sense, first of all. And second of all, as well, to put it simply, basically, they hold their values higher than others, basically. They believe their lives are being threatened, basically, out of some fallacy. Does that make sense?
You said simply basically 18 times.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy.
I don't even know what we're arguing about.
Yeah, I don't know.
Guns. Well, whoever's doing dishes, mute your mic. Dude, I love guns.
Speaking of systems being bad, the police.
Guys, America is going back to normal, guys. Now we're going back to our regular TV broadcasting of endless fucking school shootings. And endless violence, dude. We're going back to the normal.
No, this summer is going to be a fucking bonanza, bro.
It's gonna be in the United States. The two biggest shootings in America were, the Pulse nightclub in Florida, and then the Virginia Tech.
No, not Virginia Tech. Vegas.
Yeah. So apart from Vegas, it was the Pulse nightclub and the Virginia Tech. So my thesis here is that the biggest threat to your average American citizen's safety is not guns perhaps, but maybe Asiatic people.
Oh my god, dude! You know what's the real threat to America? Yellows. Like, holy.
Did you notice what happened there? He tried to claim the top two shooting sprees in America, and he avoided the most populated one.
Vegas shooting,
which was a white dude in Vegas.
Vegas
shooting was kind of sus.
Hold on. Wasn't the didn't the guy in Vegas, he illegally obtained the machine gun that he
didn't use a machine gun.
Why does it machine gun? He illegally obtained them.
No, he legally. I'm pretty sure they were all legally obtained.
They were legally obtained. You're right. They were all.
Remember, it's been so long. Like, but what does this have to do with it?
Anybody can make a machine gun. It's not very hard. All it takes is a fucking clothing hanger and an MSP score too. I mean, $500 gun.
Also, he had
so we're just gonna keep memeing, or
no? I'm not memeing. It's very easy to make.
Why the fuck are we talking about this? It has nothing to do.
Honestly, we should ban guns.
We are not going to be able to stop people from committing crimes. The only thing we can do is do mental health.
Nothing, guys. Do nothing.
No, mental health shit. Mental health shit.
Cynical, you're being very bad faith. Please shut up.
That's kind of fucking obvious. No shit. We should do mental health shit. We should not have any gun regulations. We should not do common sense regulations.
I don't think he said that.
Out of the end. No, that's literally what he said. He's not having the idea of gun regulations. So
never once he said, "I don't want gun regulations."
I do want gun regulations, but that's not going to be the be all and end all. That's not going to put enough of a dent in the problem.
Really? Wow, wow. I couldn't tell. It's not. Wow, wow. It's almost like you need both things to be able to do such action. And there's many
Yeah, I
factors.
think he was trying to say that.
Oh, you kept on interrupting.
But yeah, you kept interrupting. Like, what the fuck?
Getting him on.
Yeah, I don't think this is wrong with what I said, but I'm making sure.
Yeah, this guy's literally getting himself mad, like literally.
No, I'm gonna get madder. You wanna get madder? I will get madder. Please let me
You're activating my second form.
What's it called? But yeah, banning guns would probably stop.
Reason 300 people.
Can we upgrade the IQ, please? Just a little bit.
I'm just fucking with you. Banning guns is not based.
I took my IQ down in 1 second, dude.
That's cool shooting, though.
Your vaccine, wait, what?
Virginia tech shooting, it was done by with a shotgun and semi-automatic pistol. So it was not even a fucking assault weapon.
The fuck is this assault weapon? Wait, what's this?
Weapon like
Google it, don't fuck with us.
I feel like 90% of the people in here know nothing about guns, or either that or
what it is.
Well, I don't know a lot about cars, but I can still say that you need seatbelt laws.
What? What are you talking about? These people are trying to talk about guns in a very specific fashion. They're not trying to talk about cars and seatbelt laws, so
Who is trying to talk about guns?
I don't understand what analogies are. Can
that's
someone
not
explain
an
it?
analogy. That's my point. That is my point. It's not an
You
analogy.
just said that it's a different situation, therefore it's not an analogy. That's what an analogy is.
That's kind of stuff, honestly.
Yeah, like I'm just. Can we clarify what the fuck is going on? Like, dog, like in what way? I don't think anybody here has like gotten that specific at all, or anything about gun control, or anything about gun period.
What's an assault rifle?
30 somebody asked a dumb question.
Can y'all stop?
So what? Like somebody asked a dumb question.
30 caliber.
Yes, any gun with a 30 caliber clip is an assault rifle. The AR-15 is literally an assault rifle 15.
There's no such thing as
Rapid fire magazine fed automatic rifle.
I like Duck Norris. Keep going, Duck Norris. I like that.
Like, bro, why do you guys have to make every one of our rooms ace?
What? How is it not an analogy? Go. How is seatbelts to cars not an analogy to gun control to guns?
We're waiting, Sydney.
It's not an analogy. Ha ha ha.
Yo, PJ,
I'm muted. I literally couldn't even talk because Patty mutes me every single time. She starts getting a little bit pissed on her period.
Oh, no, not this type of PJ.
Oh my god.
Dude, I'm black, so I
Instantly re-muted. Instantly deserved it.
Like, bro, PJs are so fucking annoying.
PJs.
Yeah,
I like
dude.
that.
You guys should just call them like oranges or something. I don't know.
Bro, I just say PJs, man.
No, because oranges are delicious.
No. Oranges to match the purples.
What's a PJ? Oh, peanut butter jelly.
No, politics journeyman.
Polysex journeyman.
Polysex journeyman.
And you guys really have to shorten it down.
I'm a PC nigga.
Yeah, because there's so many of these fucking journeymen who just come on and you just like, we always know that they're journeymen. It's so obvious.
I know, right?
It's about how they talk.
You always just hear some noise trolling, and then you look at their profile picture. All right, and then you click on it, and then it's this fucking politics journey. Like they have a certain fucking look to them. You know what I'm saying? Like you have like a fucking like profile picture.
It sounds like you 7th graders are gay.
Like oftentimes it's anime. It's anime related.
It's very often anime.
Fuck anime.
Yes, journeyman.
It's like the cringe lefties on Twitter, all the anime characters and shit.
Oh, ew, cringe.
Oh, but like lefties don't even do that no more. Now it's just like having blue hair.
Level, like cringe people, you know.
You know what? That brings up a good question. Like, how do you the leftists like differentiate themselves from the ones with the anime profile pics and go out to furry conventions? How do you guys like make different?
Like you can tell by like how gay they are typically.
Facts.
What's your definition?
Yeah, so like if you see one, if you go like for example, Kami Boy, all right, cool dude, I like him. Alright, but like, dude's gay as shit. So you can tell in all of his memes,
He's very furry cat boy energy.
Like you can tell in all the memes, it's always like involving some sort of like gay shit. Like where there's like a bulge in like the anime girls they post. That's
Wait.
What? This there, bro.
He's talking about socialism done left.
Yeah, but like on top of it, right wingers do it too nowadays. So like, I don't know. Horseshoe theory might apply here now. Like,
we didn't have bulges on anime girls.
What do you mean?
Hello.
They were there too.
What
are you talking about?
He was saying all right wingers nowadays do it.
Yeah,
Does
they do it
anyone
too.
know
But
the actual communist boycott?
There's one right ring.
Yeah,
I remember he had a
socialism
weird
done left.
fascination for
yeah,
male
like it's almost like this nigga like knew that this server's
I
AIDS.
forgot what his name is, but he got
Yes,
caught
Commie
having a
Boy.
relationship with some
Actual
guy
Commie
or
Boy.
something.
He still comes on
Alright.
here on occasion. Like sometimes when this nigga's just bored out of his fucking mind, he comes on here.
Wait, who's Commie Boy? What is like
Your mom.
It's
He's a based and red pilled communist.
Red Pill? Well, I mean, I already like one.
Yeah, he hates. So the main thing is that like he has really good evidence for as to why whiteness and just generally speaking white people are bad. And I genuinely appreciate him. You guys should subscribe to him. Yeah,
What's your channel called again?
White people are bad.
bad.com.
There you go.
Oh, wow. Wait, actually, that's his actual domain. Like you're not.
How much does it cost to make a domain?
Not very much, like $10. You can get one for like a year for like $10.
White people are
subscribe to his
evil.com.
OnlyFans and watch him fuck all the fascists.
Go on this website.
Yo, white people are evil.com is open right now on GoDaddy.
Can't use the laboratory.
What about fuck white people? Fuck
You got money? You got money for it? Go ahead.
Actually, I think you would enjoy this. So, like, imagine this, right? Imagine a porn business, but you go around doing racist daughters.
Nah, like I don't like white people
Can
like
I bring
that.
up an interesting point?
No.
Oh my god, you are in such a foul mood, bro. He is in such a bad mood. What happened, buddy?
Yeah.
Did your white girlfriend break up with you?
Why is Jill always like in a bad fucking mood? Like,
Yes, you do.
He's not always in this.
You told
no, they're not here. This nigga's always been fucking.
You told us a couple weeks ago that you take like white girls out and you like you get them pregnant just so you can leave them.
No, I don't. Bro, when did I
You said that. You said that a couple weeks ago.
I doubt that I said that.
You said it a month ago. I'm not even
No,
joking.
I said hypothetically, if they were to in fact be pregnant, I would leave. I would vacate the premises.
Well, at least he's honest. At least he's honest.
With his
Well, you're saying that he does that he wants to do that. He lied.
I mean, it would be kind of funny, but like, I don't know. Like, I'm just saying, like, fuckwhitepeople.com is not taken either.
What would you
saying I
put on
can't
that
put ads
website?
on it.
Like, what would you? He's really concerned about putting ads on. So, like, what would you do? Like, what would you do on that website?
I would just post like images of white people on Discord and just record the dumb shit they say, probably.
It's like Karen's, all the videos will be put online. And when the landing page opens up, it goes bump,
Pickle clips and
bump,
claim that he's
bump,
white.
Fuckwhitey.com. What about I hate whitepeople.com?
.gov.
Is he allowed to just like?
I can't wait for some random
Can I just yell I hate N-words? Like,
Oh, are
is
you
that alright?
getting mad? Are you
you want to try?
Wait. Are you trying to wait real quick? Are you trying to equate white boy to the N-word?
What?
Shut up, white boy.
Yeah, it's a racial term. That
Yeah, shut up, white boy.
Oh my god.
Which N-word?
Whiteboy.com is in fact $24,000 US.
Wow.
You probably have to bid that too. It's not even fucking something you can actually buy.
I don't think.
Oh, it says buy now. It says buy now.
Saying white boy is not equivalent to the N word, but it's still like. It's like saying punching someone is not the same as shooting. It's like, yeah, you're right, but it's still shooting.
White boy is literally just a description. That's all it is.
And if